9-3 record, but they did lose in the first round 6 games to the New York Islanders. It is not the Pittsburgh Penguins with their usual starters tonight. They have been hit by the injury bug. Sidney Crosby, he's still out with wrist surgery that he dealt with in September. He did participate in the morning skate, but he will not be on the ice tonight in a Penguins sweater. Neither will Evgeny Malkin. He's going to be missing these first 2 months as he's recovering from knee surgery. And they're also without Brian Rust, Michael Matheson. Zach Aston Reese is a game-time decision. Also, a quick note about the Blackhawks roster, or rather their lineup. Kirby Dach is centering the Alex DeBrincat, Patrick Kane line. We saw that a little bit yesterday as Jeremy Colleton was switching up his lines for the second straight day. Tyler Johnson is now on the third line with Brandon Hagel and Henrik Borgstrom. The fourth line, Jujar Kara, Mackenzie Entwistle, Adam Gaudette. And then, of course, in the second line, Dominic Kubalik, Patrick Kane, and Philip Kurashev. We talked about Marc-Andre Fleury getting the start in net tonight. Pretty much no surprise. He's a familiar face, but he's not the only familiar face in Pittsburgh. So is Blackhawks coach Chris Kunitz, who played 9 years with the Penguins, winning 3 out of his 4 Stanley Cups in Pittsburgh. All of those years being teammates with Marc-Andre Fleury. And Fleury still can't believe that Kunitz is in the coaching role.
I love it. Yeah, it's fun to have him around, and he shoots on me in the morning once in a while, and I see him on the board during plays before practice and stuff. That's still makes me makes me laugh a bit, but yeah, it's good. He's a good friend. We play many years together, so it's good to have him around.
Is it odd seeing him in the coaching role after so long?
Definitely. That's what I mean. Like, I see him on the board and I laugh. It's just like it's so weird, but he's still the same guy, right? It's always has that energy, and I don't know. He makes me laugh. He's a good guy, good friend. And, it's cool that we can spend some time together.
Always love the honesty from Marc-Andre Fleury. Not sure what you can compare that to. I don't know, maybe if he had a prankster of a friend and they went on to become a teacher. That's going to do it for the FanDuel Sportsbook Chicago Blackhawks pregame show. Joey and Colin are standing by with the call from the PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh as the Blackhawks and Penguins are set for Game 3 of the NHL season. You've been listening to the Blackhawks pregame show here on 720 WGN.
National Coffee Day is September 29th, and what better way to celebrate than with a freshly brewed cup of rich, hearty, creamy coffee that's filled with fall, like Starbucks Fall Blend Coffee and Starbucks Creamer, inspired by caramel macchiato. Available at Walmart.
Melissa from Michigan. I work an extra part-time job serving lunch at my child's school, but I still can't afford to put food on our table.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Look through your children's eyes to see the true magic of a forest. It's a storybook world for them. You look and see a tree. They see the wrinkled face of a wizard with arms outstretched to the sky. They see treasure in pebbles. They see a windy path that could lead to adventure. And they see you, their fearless guide through this fascinating world.
Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Mama, what does the chicken say? Dog. Cat. Giraffe.
Giraffe, really?
Giraffe. You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
A gentle breeze blows across your face as you take a refreshing sip of water, appreciating the stillness of another morning fishing on the lake. The distant gurgle of a stream reminds you of days spent playing in the creek, the cool, clear water rushing between your toes. You love this time with nature, the feeling of putting everything on hold to connect with the world around you. Now, imagine it's all gone. No fish, no lake, no water. One of life's most vital resources, irreplaceably depleted. Time is running out to protect fresh water, and without our love, it can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our freshwater. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
If you're worried your friend may be struggling, remember, you don't have to be there to be there.
You can say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You can ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You can ask on your couch while you binge watch. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and the Jed Foundation.
The Blackhawks, Wildcats, and the NFL play here on AM 720. On smart speakers, say play WGN Chicago. WGN. It's hockey time.
Picked up by the Captains. He scores! Alex fires. Big save by Fleury in the Kurashev. Shoot, he scores! Hockey, shoot, he scores! Oh, save made by Fleury. Kane shoots, he scores!
It's time. It's time for Chicago Blackhawks hockey.
Fires, he scores!
On the Blackhawks Radio Network.
Number 400 for Patrick Kane!
The march to the Stanley Cup has begun.
Way to go, Blackhawks!
It's go time. Now, welcome the Chicago Blackhawks radio broadcast team.
The Chicago Blackhawks wrap up their season-opening 3-game road trip with a stop in Steeltown, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to battle the Pittsburgh Penguins. Hello, everybody, and welcome inside PPG Paints Arena, downtown Pittsburgh, PA. Joseph Zakrzewski with you, alongside Colin Fraser, the 3-time Stanley Cup champion. Well, for your Chicago Blackhawks, coming in with a record of 0-1-1 and standing in the Central Division, looking for that all-important first win under their belt, taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins team that right now 1-0-1, off to a pretty good year. Their victory a couple of nights ago against the defending Stanley Cup champion in the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Blackhawks, they're wrapping up a back-to-back weekend as well. Tough outing yesterday, but nice battle in the third period as they would score twice in the final 5 minutes to tie up the game at 3 with the New Jersey Devils, force overtime, but the Devils would walk away the winner. And the power play continues to stay hot for this group. They were 3 for 7 overall coming in, 3 power play goals over their first 2 games, and they've also been pretty good on the penalty kill too, going a perfect 6 for 6. Well, now they're taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins team that is playing a good team game. You heard Joe Brand mention no Evgeny Malkin, no Sidney Crosby. That's really no problem for them. 32-15-7 their record when they don't have both of them in the lineup. And I bring in my broadcast partner, Colin Fraser. We've heard Jeremy Colleton wanted to play a good team game. Well, they're taking on a team that seems to have established a good, hard-working game, so it's going to be a nitty-gritty effort in Pittsburgh tonight.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. It's another home opener, their third home opener on the road here to start the season. Have to match their energy early. If they haven't learned their lesson the first 2 games, I hope they're ready to go tonight against a hungry Penguins team.
Well, Colin, let's dive into your pick to perform. Who's going to stand out for the Chicago Blackhawks team? This pick to perform is sponsored by Ditch Witch Midwest. Since 1970, Ditch Witch Midwest has been your partner for trenchers, cable plows, and directional drills. Visit ditchwitchmidwest.com.
My Ditch Witch Midwest pick to perform is the captain, Johnny Taves. Looking to right the ship. He's been good, but look for him to kick it up a gear. He's the leader, and I think he'll be leading by example tonight.
Well, who am I banking on for tonight's performance? Who am I banking on? Presented by Marquette Bank. Wake up to a better way to bank with Marquette Bank and fun rewards. I'm going with Patrick Kane. Kane, 2 assists in his first 2 games so far this season, but he's done really well against the Pittsburgh Penguins. 16 games all time, 5 goals, 17 assists for 22 points. So I'm looking for him to dive right in and pick up a big performance this evening. Well, looking at our 3 keys, Colin, what's going to be the difference maker for the Chicago Blackhawks bunch? The 3 keys of the game, sponsored by Team Hochberg. If you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance your existing home, go to 56david.com.
The 3 keys to the game for me. Number 1, it seems like a broken record. We've been talking about it a lot. The ever-important start. It bit them the first 2 games. It can't bite them tonight. They have to be ready to go. Key number 2, they need to be a hungrier 5-on-5. They only have 1 5-on-5 goal so far. Special teams have been great. I just want to see a little bit more sustained pressure 5-on-5, a little bit more chances 5-on-5. I'd like to see them pop more goals 5-on-5. And then last, a full 60-minute effort. Coach Colleton, we heard it in the pregame show, talk about some of the good things they did from the 15-minute mark on and through the second to the late second period. We've seen lots of good things, but we need to see them put it together consistently for the full 60 minutes. No lulls. Those lulls have burned them, so I don't want to see any lulls tonight.
So look for those keys coming into tonight's matchup. Collins, 3 keys. Well, a chance to take a peek at the injury report tonight, presented by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. The card to carry it through it all. No changes overall for the Chicago Blackhawks coming in tonight, other than goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury. So Wyatt Kalnick still on the IR, that right ankle sprain, out 2 to 4 weeks, and Caleb Jones injured out 4 to 6 weeks with a left wrist strain. Other scratches for Chicago this evening, but options for head coach Jeremy Colleton. Dylan Strome, he will be out alongside with Ian Mitchell and Ryan Carpenter. Again, same lineup for this Chicago Blackhawks bunch coming into tonight. And then as far as the Pittsburgh Penguins go, we talked about the absence of Evgeny Malkin and Sidney Crosby. Also no Pierre-Olivier Joseph, Sam Lafferty, or Brian Rust. Mike Matheson also a scratch for Pittsburgh. And Zach Aston Reese, who was a game-time decision, comes off of COVID-19 protocols. He will make the jump coming into the lineup in his season debut tonight. Well, pregame festivities, Colin, continuing to roll along here at PPG Paints Arena. Got a couple more moments before we take it down to ice level for the presentation of our colors and our national anthem. You mentioned playing a good team game, good 5-on-5 game. What needs to happen to establish that? It's keeping that time in the offensive zone.
Absolutely. I think consistency is the key. They switched up the lines a little bit. We got Doc with DeBrincat and Kane trying to ignite that offense a little bit. Kirby's been good. He scored last game. He had chances the first game. Look for them to have some sustained offensive pressure. You got Borgstrom moved to the middle with Hagel and Johnson. I really liked Hagel and Johnson's energy. I think they can bring a little sustained offensive pressure as well.
Kirby Doc has been playing great these first couple of contests. He picked up a big power play goal last night for Chicago out in New Jersey. Was really a big factor in that pushback late in the third period. And he went through that power play goal to pull within one. But certainly him being promoted to DeBrincat and Kane's line, and Kubalik with Taves and Kurashev. And you got the adjustments with Borgstrom moving to the middle, Hagel on the left wing, and Tyler Johnson, he'll move on to the right wing. Well, just a reminder, fans, with that adjustment with Patrick Kane having Kirby Doc join on his line, every goal and assist by Patrick Kane or Jonathan Taves this season is sponsored by ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check out Chevy's Shop, Click, and Drive. Shop online 24/7 at ChevyDriveChicago.com. Well, we're going to toss it on down to ice level for the presentation of our colors and our national anthem as they wrap up the pregame festivities here at PPG Paints Arena. We'll get to the starting lineup, coaching matchup, the referees right around the corner. Blackhawks looking to wrap up this road trip on a high note this evening as they'll begin their first of a 2-game season series against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Enjoy the anthem, everybody.
I could have elaborated more.
Please welcome tonight's Icy Light hometown hero of the game, Tracy Mcardle. Tracy is a retired Master Sergeant of the Air Force, selflessly served her nation for over 30 years. She continues to work on the civilian side, assisting her base while training the next generation of airmen. Thank you for your service, Tracy.
If you're able, we ask that you please rise, remove your hats and helmets, and direct your attention to the flag above the scoreboard. Please welcome back the Penguins' own Mr. Michael Warren as he performs the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wonderful rendition of our national anthem, PPG Paints Arena, downtown Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The Chicago Blackhawks wrapping up their season opening, a 3-game road trip. That means right around the corner, it's the home opener at United Center. Join us on a Tuesday night at the UC. The New York Islanders in town. Pick up your tickets at chicagoblackhawks.com/tickets. Let's take a peek at the starting lineup to begin this quest in Pittsburgh. First of 2 meetings between the two clubs. For your Blackhawks, Jonathan James will center up the line with Dominic Kubalik on the left wing, Philip Kurashev on the right. Calvin DeHaan and Seth Jones paired up on defense. And Marc-Andre Fleury, the longtime Penguin, 14-year member of this organization. He is having a bit of a homecoming this evening. They'll be in goal. Blackhawks wearing their white uniforms, and they'll be skating from right to left. Teddy Bluger and the Pittsburgh Penguins will get going with him up the middle. Zach Ashton-Reese and Brock McGinn on the left and right wings. Marcus Pettersson and John Marino on defense. And it's Tristan Jarry in goal down off to our left-hand side. Puck is down, and here we go from Pittsburgh, PA. Let's have some fun. Well, it's the Penguins that'll get things started. They backhand it in front and score! It sneaks underneath the pads of Fleury, who was sliding. Thought it stayed in front of him, but no. It banks off the left leg pad and in. Bluger just threw a casual backhand towards the top of the crease, and 15 seconds into the contest, the Pittsburgh Penguins take a 1-0 lead.
Well, it seems to be the theme here the first 3 games of the year. Bluger was just taking a wide, sliding to Chicago defense. He just kind of threw it on net. It looked like Fleury tried to whack it with his stick and just simply missed it, and it went 5-hole. It barely even went over the goal line. He just kind of whiffed on it with his stick and went right 5-hole in. 1-0.
So 15 seconds in, shades of last night. Dougie Hamilton and the New Jersey Devils, they lit the lamp 17 seconds into the hockey game. Well, the Blackhawks looking to settle down after last night's opening tally. They were able to do just that. Let's see how they respond. But Teddy Bluger, he lights the lamp and picks up his second goal of the season. Well, Pittsburgh right back to work in the offensive zone. They're working off to our right-hand side in the near corner. Jeff Carter, the Grizzly veteran, multi-step Stanley Cup champion, out to the blue line. Rich shot, and that gobbled up by Marc-Andre Fleury. He will hang on tight. Chance to take a look at Fleury's numbers. Just 1 game under his belt so far. Played in the season opener out in Colorado on Wednesday. And he would suffer the 4-2 loss, 32 saves. This is just his 3rd time coming back to PPG Paints Arena. The previous couple were as a member of the Vegas Golden Knights. And you heard Joe mention the pregame show. In 5 appearances overall against Pittsburgh as a member of the Knights, a 3-2-0 record. The last time he was in this building, October 19, 2019, a 3-0 victory, 29 saves. The same as his jersey number on the backside. So he looking to bounce off that quick goal given up to Teddy Bluger. Well, the Blackhawks right to left, moving out to center ice. It's going to be Calvin DeHaan, left side, that's going to dump it on in. A little rim around the boards and carry up in front of the Pittsburgh bench in a quick transition game going the other direction. Kasperi Kapanen into the zone, wrister wide. Hawks will just chip it back up the left wing side and out to his center ice. And there, Evan Rodriguez, who had a fantastic camp, a real grinder for this Pittsburgh group, coughed up the puck. Jude Arcaro trying to catch a lead pass. Had a little bit of help, too, with Borgstrom going right up the middle. Just could not get it on the heel of his stick. Penguins will regroup. They'll just hit center and dump it on down. Approaching 2 minutes gone in period number 1. A quick start for the Penguins. Teddy Bluger 15 seconds in. Battle in the far corner as the Hawks able to guide it into that right wing side. Brian Boyle, another great veteran in the lineup for this Pittsburgh Penguins bunch. Began camp on a tryout agreement, got signed to a 1-year deal, and he scored the season opener in the huge victory Pittsburgh would have against the defending Stanley Cup champs last Wednesday out in Tampa Bay. Hawks take it away, right wing side. They'll roll through center ice, and a quick flick of the wrist by Mackenzie Entwistle sends it down to the far corner. Couple of bounces, a little problematic, but the Penguins, they'll just rip it out to center ice. No real danger there, and Drew O'Connor will take control. O'Connor, right wing side, lead pass for Boyle too far, and there it's taken by the deep pairing. Jake McCabe will have it for the Hawks. Goes up the middle, and there he will connect and bust into the offensive zone.
The Hawks trying to get that chip and chase game going there. It's just that first shift kind of caught them off guard again, but they are skating okay. They are getting it in. They are getting after it.
Chris Letang out in the neutral zone. Taking a look around defensively for the Penguins. Right wing side has his target, and Brock McGinn. Snapshot towards Fleury from the bottom of the near dot. That just missed wide. Rings around the boards out to the left wing point. There it's taken and held on to by Dumoulin. Trying to steer it back towards the front of the net. Took a bounce and back to the far corner goes. Teddy Bluger, the goal scorer. Looking off the left wing, goes across the ice, hoping for Letang. Puck was behind him, and then it'll come back out to center ice. 16:46 to go, first period. It's a 1-0 Pittsburgh lead. They lead in shots 5-0. Hawks looking for that first test on Tristan Jarry down to our left-hand side. He picked up the 6-2 win against Tampa Bay last Wednesday, 26 saves to go 1-0 on the year. Patrick Kane regrouping in his own zone, right in front of that Blackhawk bench. Surveyed by Jeremy Colleton and company. Goes across the ice for DeHaan. Pass was behind him. Lost control. Tumbles down. Took a man with him. Close there. As they were thinking maybe Jeff Carter got tripped up, but we'll move right on along, and Patrick Kane down the left wing will try and bring it into the offensive zone. Got across the blue line, looking for a little bit of help. He's got Jones now in the middle, frees up some space. Seth Jones hoping to center it up, and that goes through everybody. Kirby Dach is swing and a miss, and up the right side on the counterattack will come Jake Gensel. Gensel for the Penguins, right wing. It's only him. Everybody else on his team has gone off for a line change. He'll take a bump. Jake McCabe knocks it free. He'll ring it around his own boards and up the right side. Tyler Johnson standing in front of that Blackhawk bench. He'll hang tight as the Hawks now trying to get some fresh personnel out there. Tyler Johnson still looking around. Backhanded in front. Looked like it hit a patch of snow in front of that Pittsburgh bench. Slowed down. Rodriguez couldn't do much with it, though. Johnson on a second play. He'll dump it in, and Jarry out to handle it. Rushing in is going to be Brandon Hagel, and Hagel's going to force the turnover. Centered it up, but it was behind a couple members of the Hawks. Does skip over to the near side, and Stillman's going to pinch in from the left point. He'll center it up too, but that also behind. And now the Penguins trying to hustle back out the other direction. A snapshot rings off the crossbar. Marc-Andre Fleury waving at it as Jason Zucker broke free. All of a sudden found himself with plenty of time and space at the left circle, and that rattles the iron behind Fleury. To the blue line, long wrist shot, Dumoulin. That angle's back behind the net. Pittsburgh putting on a little bit of pressure now. Dumoulin gets it back, middle of the ice, blue line. Wrists are off a skate and into the near corner. Taken up by Jason Zucker. Zucker holding the hold on, but banked off a skate on a cross ice. I think he was going for Dumoulin again, but it'll ricochet out to center for Chris Letang. 14:40 to go, first period, 1-0 Penguins. They score 15 seconds in. Both teams taking some turns, trying to get some pushes in, but mostly Pittsburgh with the offensive zone time. Marc-Andre Fleury out to play the puck. He cuffs it up, and they score. Fleury tried to handle it to the right of his net. The Penguins beat him to it, and they just chip it towards the top of the crease. It pinballs off the body and into the back of the net, and a tough break once again for the Hawks. That's going to be Drew O'Connor. That got enough of it to send it in, and it's 2-0 Penguins.
Well, Fleury came out of the net to his right to play the puck. It kind of died right before the trapezoid line, so he kind of had to wait for it. He couldn't play it. He ended up kind of playing the body on the forechecker and tried to poke the puck away. It bounced out front, and O'Connor was able to grab it and put it in. It was kind of an unfortunate break. If the puck kept its momentum, he could have just played it within the trapezoid, but had to wait for it.
Looks like O'Connor got it on that backhand, stole it away from Fleury, and then Mackenzie Entwistle was hustling back, trying to play goaltender himself, but it ricocheted off the skates and into the back of the net. So O'Connor finds the twine and makes it 2-0. Pittsburgh, not quite 6 minutes gone in period number 1.
You know, Joe, this is where I'd like to see this fourth line bring a little bit of heat and a little bit of energy. You got to play hard. You got to send a message. You got to wake the guys up and get the team going here.
And that's the group out there now. Entwistle with Jujar Kara and Gaudette. Pittsburgh, though, has the puck. They need to make a line change. They'll just hit center and dump it on down. So a quick start for this Penguins bunch here at home, their home opener. Blackhawks left wing. Trying to get a turnover going here. Phil Kursev left wing. Had it for a moment, but he fell down. And a quick exit out to center ice. Fell number 23 countering Kursev. It is Brock McGinn. He'll get it to the center red line. But taken away, Gustafsson in his second game this season. Sat out the first contest just to get his legs moving again after Chicago signed him to a contract this past Monday. Gustafsson left circle. On to Kursev. Tried to center it out in front. Hit off a slew of bodies and eventually knocked out to a center ice. Zucker alongside with McGinn. They'll just force it down the left wing and into the far corner of Fleury.
Blackhawks still 0 shots on net. I'd like to see him just chuck one in there. Bad angle behind the net. Look at the goal the Penguins just scored. It was just kind of an ugly bang-bang play.
Stretch pass intended for Kirby Dach. Right side a little too far, and that'll go down for an icing call. 12:55 to go in a period number 1. The countdown is on, and we're only 3 days away from opening night at the UC. Join the Blackhawks. Cheer and sing along with Jim Cornelison in the national anthem and bang the drum with Tommy Hawk. And bring your family and friends out for a night filled with spectacular moments and memories that you will cherish for a lifetime. Visit Blackhawks.com/tickets to purchase your favorite seats right now as you're tuned in with us. And thank you so much for having us. Joseph Zakshesky and Colin Fraser once again jumping in for John and Troy as the Hawks moving back up to center ice. And another backhander into the defensive zone. And this is going to be an offside against Chicago this time. So that'll hang on tight. And, of course, our thoughts with Troy Murray. Still battling cancer, but coming up strong. Troy, our thoughts again and prayers are with you, good sir. We'd love to see you on the road and with us again very, very soon. Timeout on the ice. 12:44 to go in the first period. Penguins up 2-0. Bluger and O'Connor lighting the lamp quickly. You're listening to Chicago Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
When I got out of the Marine Corps, I was not just, working with my physical disabilities, I was emotionally broken. I remember thinking, how did I get here? How? It was affecting me in my marriage. My husband, he didn't know how to help me. He actually called Wounded Warrior Project. Wounded Warrior Project had this thing called Couples Odyssey.
It was an eye-opener, and I think it really saved our marriage.
They gave us books and resources and tools on how to help us with that. I just love him. I love you, honey.
Me too. Watching her fight for her mental health, fighting for other veterans, fighting for this family, helped me to fight too. Well, I always loved her, but I love her 10 times more for that.
Not all wounds are visible. If you or a loved one are suffering, visit woundedwarriorproject.org/notalone.
Considering an online pharmacy? Explore BeSafeRx to find useful information and resources to help you purchase medicines safely online. A safe online pharmacy requires a doctor's prescription, has an address in the United States, has a licensed pharmacist, and is licensed by a state pharmacy board. It's best to stay away from online pharmacies that don't meet these criteria. Discover more helpful tips and resources at BeSafeRx. Go to fda.gov/BeSafeRx.
Join our firm, Surratt, Grzanich, Ennett, and Kakuzian. Our offices open early.
Now, back to the game.
Welcome back. 2-0 Penguins halfway through this first period. Ticket plans are now available with options for every fan's lifestyle, including the all-new 3-game hat-trick plan, perfect for your family to be part of Blackhawks hockey throughout the season. Visit Blackhawks.com/plans to choose your location, gain access to playoff tickets, and receive your choice of Blackhawks hat from the CBHshop.com.
12.5 to go. Opening frame. Joseph Zakshesky. Colin Fraser, 3-time Stanley Cup champion. Happy to have you here on Blackhawks hockey on WGN Radio as the Hawks looking to break it out of their own zone. Backhander going across ice from the far wing. A little bit too far behind. Alex DeBrincat, Kirby Dach trying to come in and help him out, but taken away. Jake Gunsel hoping to move into the zone. We got ourselves a delayed penalty, and it's going to go against Chicago. A high stick is being signaled as we welcome our officiating crew tonight. Dan O'Rourke and Corey Sembra wearing the orange bands and making the penalty calls. O'Rourke number 9, Sever 23, Ryan Panish, and Dan Kelly helping them out on the lines. As Kirby Doc being tagged with the high stick and the penalty kill, Colin, which has been great so far. But down 2-0, you don't want to give a Penguins team that's playing pretty well on special teams of their own a chance to add to it.
Well, this is an important kill. Kirby went in there, tried to do the stick lift, and just missed the stick and came up high gently on the Penguins player. Huge kill here. You can't go down 3-0 this early in the game.
Yeah, they show the replay, and Gensel was up against the boards. Kirby tried to leverage between the body and the boards and lift up, just did not get the stick, and unfortunately got him right underneath the visor. So first power play in action for Pittsburgh right now. 2 for 10 in their first 2 games of the season. 20% as they'll set up shop. Here's Letang, right point. Going across the ice for the left circle. One-timer. Didn't like what he got, so he comes right back to it. To the right-hand side. For Gensel, one-timer, top of the near dot. That gets knocked down. Hawk tried to clear it, but it goes right to Letang up the middle of the ice. Has Gensel right circle. Jake Gensel looking to go across. Has some running room. Wrist shot fought down by Fleury. Looking to dig it out of the pads and swing it wide. That'll be Carter on top of the crease. Jeff Carter trying to create some traffic, but the Blackhawks able to force it up the middle. Jujhar Khaira gets it away from Letang enough to center ice, and he's going to stay all over Letang. Khaira, nice work there. Jonathan Taves getting a stick in there, and Letang's going to have to retreat all the way back to his own zone. Half a minute gone left in this penalty kill for Chicago as they break it back in rather quickly, but a wrist shot ends up wide of the mark, and Letang will have to settle it down as it wraps up to the right point. Letang to the right side. Hits up Evan Rodriguez on this power play. Rodriguez right circle trying to inch in, but Marc-Andre Fleury had the near goal post knocked off behind his back, so that'll bring a stoppage. 45 seconds left on the penalty kill for Chicago. 10:58 left first period. It's a 2-0 Penguins lead.
Gensel had 2 good looks there. He got the first one in the slot. He did a nice little pull around the Blackhawks defenseman and then picked up a rebound off the end boards there. Fleury was quick to get back to the near post to stop the rebound off the end boards.
Hawks PK 6 for 6 so far, trying to make it 7 for 7 in 45 seconds time. Ball start on the faceoff going against the Penguins. Drew O'Connor will have to step out, and Jason Zucker will come on in. Zucker's going to win it straight back to John Marino at the right point. Marino down to the near corner. There's Seth Jones. Took his man out. Puck will wrap around the wall, but come all the way out to the left wing point, taken by Dominic Simone. Simone, they'll steer it right back behind Fleury. Carries up the near side. Nobody can pull it down. Zucker one last swing, but that'll escape all the way towards Tristan Jarry, who has still have yet to see a shot. It's 8-0 in that category for the Pittsburgh Penguins. 17 seconds left on Doc's high sticking infraction. Penguins looking for one more push. Right side, it's Marino. Marino moving to the middle of the ice, blue line. Now left wing side. Snap shot on its way, blocked down. Nice block by Jones. And that'll free up the clear, and that's pretty much going to do it for the PK. So the Penguins, empty-handed, 1 for 1, are the Blackhawks. Doc is back out there. And Pittsburgh will look to break out to my left. Right just back behind Tristan Jarry. Long stretch pass up the left wing. And Aaron Gustafsson had it tangled up in front of the Blackhawk net. Brock McGinn right in the middle of it all, trying to force it free, but skating through it is going to be Alex DeBrincat right side. He'll dump it in behind Jarry. A couple of bodies go crashing in, and it's going to be Doc coming up with Brian Dumoulin. DeBrincat gets it out to the blue line. Has his target in Gustafsson. Gustafsson to Patrick Kane right circle. Onto DeBrincat covering as Stillman was walking down. Ends up handling off to Patrick Kane once again. Buys some space. The right point for Gustafsson. Tried to move to the middle of the ice. Almost lost his footing. Trades places with Kane. Another give and go. He's got DeBrincat crossing paths to the right circle for Gustafsson. They got everybody rotating up high. Gustafsson, DeBrincat, and Kane just can't get the puck any deeper. Kirby Doc trying to come in. Sorry?
I like the puck possession. It's just all on the outside. I want to see them just chuck one on net. We have 0 shots on net.
Gustafsson left wing to Patrick Kane. Wrist shot. Pad saved by Jarry, and there it is. Right on cue, Colin. As Jarry got the big left leg out, and the Penguins will come out the other way. It's O'Connor going one-timer across. They score! Brock McGinn on a great one-time pass from O'Connor. Rink wide from the outside of the left dot, almost all the way to the outside of the right. A one-timer. Fleury had to cover all kinds of ground, and he's not going to get to that one. It's 3-0 Pittsburgh with 9:01 to go in the first.
Well, Gustafsson got caught low. Kane made the shot we were talking about. The rebound kicked out all the way high, and the Hawks had 4 4 players below the dots. That's always a no-no. You can't have that many players down low. They came back 2-on-1 off of the rebound. 1 pass over, 1-timer, and Fleury just couldn't get across.
Brock McGinn, first of the season, picks up his 4th career marker against Chicago. Came in 13 games, 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points. And as the Hawks now trying to go off the faceoff stretch pass, they got Kubalik sneaking behind the defense, but Kubalik gets tied up from behind. Clean play, though, as Marino able to lift the stick ever so slightly. The little nudge broke it up, and Jeff Carter turns it around for Pittsburgh. Carter trying to chip it to the middle of the ice. Jam shot, they score again. Danton Heinen pinching in, able to catch up to the puck. Everybody moving in. Had some room around Fleury between the dots. Goes post and in off the crossbar. And it's 4-0. Pittsburgh with 8:35 to go in the first.
It's just a little bit of loss of coverage. The Hawks have 4 guys in their house right in front of Fleury, but they're standing there not picking up bodies, and Heinen kind of jumped into that high slot. He picked up a nice pass, and he made a really nice shot over the glove, bar, and down.
From a Pittsburgh perspective, Danton Heinen was someone that we had circled. 2 goals in 2 games, 6 contests against Chicago in his career with 2 tallies, 4 points. Well, he picks up number 3 on a great setup, led by Jeff Carter into the zone, and then Heinen with Carter serving as a screen in front of Fleury. I don't know, Colin, if even Fleury was able to see that with Carter and McCabe camped out on top of the blue paint, because again, that was posted in. And it looks like we're going to have ourselves a goaltending change. Kevin Lankinen, the backup to Fleury tonight, has gone down the tunnel. And yeah, he's got his mask, his gloves, his blocker, pick up a stick. And that's going to unfortunately spell the end of the night to Marc-Andre Fleury, though he's going to get a standing ovation. That's how much they love this man in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Again, 14 years, a standing ovation, not the start he wanted, but a lot of respect.
Yeah, I mean, it's in tough there. We got to... The guy's got to help him out a little bit. There was 4 Blackhawks right in front of him, but Heinen still had room to get the shot off. Carter started the whole play. He drove it over the blue line. He kicked it out wide, and he just kept going to the net. He's a big body. He stopped right in front. Too much time and space, too close to your net. Shooters can score goals, and Heinen was able to put it in.
So Kevin Lankinen enters the game after the Heinen goal at 11:25 from Gensel and Carter. 4-0 Pittsburgh. 8:26 now left. As for Kevin Lankinen, saw his first action of the season last night. Suffered the overtime loss at New Jersey, 25 saves. It's his first ever seeing of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Penguins left wing side trying to keep the pressure up. Dominic Simone. To the attacking blue line, goes across for O'Connor, who will just spin around, hand it over to the left-hand side for Mark Friedman. Takes a punishing hit in front of the Chicago bench, and will now just turn it over to Dominic Simone once more, and he'll bring it out to center. Penguins are going to pull back a little bit and complete a line change. They're going to take their time up 4-0 as we're just a little less than 8 minutes to go in the first period. Turnover in the neutral zone. Entwistle able to pick it away. Mackenzie Entwistle left-hand side goes back door. Jory might have got a piece of it. Is crashing in a big way was Adam Gaudette. Might have got a stick on it. Out to the blue line. Long wrist shot. Hit off the pads. Actually went right off the seat of the pants of Gaudette. On a long wrister from Gustafsson. Ends up in the near corner. Jujhar Khaira trying to hang tight, but Chad Ruhwedel is on top of it. Ruhwedel looking for the stretch pass. He's got a target. It's happening. Into the zone. Almost got a breakaway, but able to catch up to him was Stillman to force him off to the near corner. Long feed, and Kapanen had some room. Handled now by Jason Zucker. Zucker moving to the left-hand side. He's got Letang at that far point. Nice body by Gaudette. He'll take the puck away, flip it high off the glass and out to center. That'll go down, and Mackenzie Entwistle is going to be the first one on it. Entwistle near corner. Him and Jujhar Khaira battling away. Khaira's going to take his turn. Entwistle's going to peel off, but now Khaira's got 2 members of the Pittsburgh defense having him plastered against the glass. Khaira trying to find some room, but Brian Dumoulin not letting him go anywhere. Now in comes Patrick Kane. He gets it free. Kane to the right-hand point. It's going to be Jake McCabe. McCabe, wrister wide, carries around to the near boards. There it's taken on a bounce and handled along the left wing circle. Kane trying to hold on. Here comes Kirby Dach. Hawks making a change on the fly as Dach waiting patiently on to Kane. Centers it up. One-timer. They had to break it, and he rings the post.
Great play by Kane. He picked up the loose puck behind the net. He found DeBrincat right in front of Jari. Just off the post. Just couldn't put it in.
Penguins and myself got caught puck watching a little bit there. Nobody had Alec DeBrincat. on top of the crease. He had more than enough time, and a wonderful one-time feed from Patrick Kane. Absolutely right, but he rings the post. And we got ourselves an icing call as the Hawks trying to keep the pressure up after having to go back to neutral. But a faceoff will come on down to Kevin Lonkinen's right-hand side. So Lonkinen stepping in for Fleury. 6:12 to go in period number 1. It's a 4-0 Pittsburgh Penguins lead. Kirby Dach to take this draw. They'll go shoulder to shoulder against another number 77, somebody that Colin Fraser knows well, and Jeff Carter.
Jeff Carter, heck of a player. He's the ageless wonder. He still skates like he's 20 years old out here.
Won a Stanley Cup with him with the Los Angeles Kings, 2 of them, in fact. As Patrick Kane trying to find any kind of running room through the neutral zone, just nothing really opening up for him, so the Hawks will retreat back inside their own zone. Kirby Dach looking for the breakout now to Seth Jones right side, lost his footing at the blue line in front of the Blackhawks bench, so he'll put it back into his zone even further, and Jake McCabe will take a turn. McCabe up the middle for Philip Kurashev, right-hand side for the captain and Jonathan Taves. They'll put it behind the net of Tristan Jarry. He'll look on as the Pittsburgh defense, John Marino, right wing, will just guide it back out to center, and the Penguins will make a line change here. Dominic Kubalik on the counter. Kubalik to Kurashev, left wing, into the zone for Taves, who will dump it around. Kubalik's going to try and catch up to it along the right circle. Couldn't get there in time, but in comes Kurashev to help out. Philip Kurashev to the middle of the ice for Kubalik, throws it to the top of the crease, whacking away as Taves, could not get a piece of it. Gets punched out to the left-hand side. Zach Aston-Reese trying to clear it, but Taves hanging on. Jonathan Taves forces another turnover to Kurashev, middle of the ice. Coming back around is Jones jumping in. Jones left circle as Brandon Hagel fresh from the bench. Hagel to the far corner for Jonathan Taves. Taves off the right circle trying to whip it out in front. Nothing available there as he just turned and fired, hoping to bank it off a shin pad. But the Penguins on it. Hawks pulling away to complete line change with 4:41 to go in the first.
Well, they got a little angry there. Kubalik makes a big hit, a big strong hit. A little bit more battle, a little bit more compete on that shift. You need more of that throughout the game.
Stillman trying to slow down Chad Ruhwedel as he brings it back into the zone for Pittsburgh, but Ruhwedel fires. Blocker saved by Kevin Lonkinen, and that'll be the first shot that he has seen since taking over for Marc-Andre Fleury. 4:19 to go in the first. A 4-0 Pittsburgh lead. They'll return it back into the zone. Dominic Simone, backhander, fires wide of the net, angles perfectly. Nice cue ball shot off the backboards and came off the far post. Lonkinen having to hurry and get over. Quick snapper, and he's got a blocker save. Second effort, and that whistles wide. Jumping in was Ruhwedel, got that second look and just buzzed it past the blocker hand of Kevin Lonkinen. Penguins fans applauding the effort from their home team here at PPG Paints Arena. Blackhawks trying to get it back out to center. Long pass for Entwistle, about 10 feet too far. Ruhwedel late on this ship. He'll just take a stride forward to the red line and dump it down. Jujar Kara out of the far corner with Gustafsson to help them out. They turn the puck over, though. Held in by Dumoulin. Dumoulin across the ice for Letang. Back to Dumoulin. Slap pass to the corner. There will connect to Kasperi Kapanen. And Kapanen, he gets locked up. And we're going to continue to have a little lockup as Eric Gustafsson's not going to let Kapanen go anywhere. Meanwhile, the play, which we're still motoring along left-hand side, it's going to be Gaudette. Gaudette to the middle. They had their target. It was DeHaan pinching in. Just could not get it on the forehand. Picked it up in the backhand one-timer. And he'll have to spin away back to center.
I think that's an example of just pull the trigger. We need shots. You need goals. You got to shoot the puck to score. He could have just shot it.
Almost like they're looking for the perfect option versus the option right in front of them.
That's it. You just less is more. Simplify. Put it on net. Crash and bang. You got to get angry and you got to get mad.
Patrick Kane out there now as the Penguins will just fire it on into the far corner, up 4-0. 2:38 to go first period. Puts it on to DeBrincat, sent it out in front of his goaltender. Oh, look out. Lonkinen almost had to make a save on that one. Pass was in tight on the goal line, but able to escape danger, and the Hawks come out the other way. Kirby Dach left wing to the near corner, looking to center, but nobody on top of the crease of Tristan Jarry. Blackhawks right now just 3 shots on target. As for Pittsburgh, they got 12 and 4 goals behind them. Left wing side to Brinkett, bringing it back into the zone for Marcus Pettersson. Defenseman will just ring it around the wall for Pittsburgh. He'll get Letang left wing, and he'll take a romp through the neutral zone. Letang left side into the zone, top of the circle, fires off a shin pad, and that'll carry him up the left wing side, and Kubalik is going to be in a foot race. He and fellow number 8, Brian Dumoulin, shoulder to shoulder. Dumoulin had a little bit of a longer reach, kept it in front. Out to the blue line. Kurashev just arriving. Tried to feed it back onto Kubalik, who is still in the middle of the ice. There was some room there. But heads kickoff escape and up the right side. Jonathan Toews and Kurashev keep it alive. Right circle and go across. Calvin DeHaan's going to pinch on down and handle it at the near corner. Now in comes Kurashev to battle. Philip Kurashev back to DeHaan, left wing. He'll scamper once more to the top of the dot. Goes behind the net for Jonathan Toews. Toews looking for some space off the near post. Nothing available. Gets smushed off the outside of the net. And right side comes Brock McGinn on the counter for Pittsburgh. Buck 17 left in the first period. Hawks trailing 4-0. Outshot 12-3 as Seth Jones will regroup behind the Chicago net to our right. Jones right side has his man in Stillman. Took a healthy hit from Brian Boyle. Almost got sent into the seating area. Boyle's going to turn it around. Centered it up in front of Lankinen. Had some bodies crash around him, but it does come up the near boards into the blue line. Marino holds tight. Marino throwing it below the line. He's got Dominic Simone. Could not handle it cleanly, and Tyler Johnson hustling any way he can to get it back to center ice. He does, but only as far as the red line. Pittsburgh will turn it right back around and quickly. Simone, right side for a long shot from the perimeter, and Lankinen able to track it down. He will hang on with exactly 40 seconds left in period number 1. Time out on the ice. We had a lot of hockey just go back and forth between the clubs, with the Pittsburgh Penguins up 4-0 in the final minute of the opening frame. You're listening to Chicago Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
The home of the Blackhawks, this is WGN.
The Bill Cunningham Show, Sunday night at 9.
As a technologist, you know better than anyone how red hot the tech job market is right now. Frankly, you've never been in higher demand. At Dice, the premier career marketplace for technology professionals, we want to be more than just your guide to finding your next role. We're your trusted partner in finding the job you've always wanted, and your source for growth, connection, and inspiration throughout your career. Visit us at dice.com.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is reconnecting neighborhoods by growing community gardens and farms through the Love Tito's Block to Block program. By teaming up with Love Tito's, Growing Places Indy is able to replace and rebuild raised garden beds at its main farm site. To lend a hand and become a volunteer, visit growingplacesindy.org/volunteer. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them, with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
What is dedication?
My daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Back in Pittsburgh, 4-0 Pittsburgh at the end of the first 40 seconds remaining. The Chills are back. Join us for a special night of festivities as we return to the United Center in full voice for the first time in nearly 19 months to kick off the 21-22 season. Visit Blackhawks.com/tickets to secure your seats now.
So some news coming out of the ice level. 40 seconds remaining in period number 1, but there's some substantial damage back behind the glass where Kevin Lankinen currently resides. That's off to our right-hand side. They actually have some scaffolding coming out on the ice to repair that damage. So what has happened is the teams have reported to the locker room. The intermission is underway, and they will add the remaining 40 seconds to the start of the second period. So that's how things will shake up. New panes of glass are being wheeled up, and yeah, there's a nice chunk of machinery and equipment being rolled on to the ice to head on over to our right-hand side and do some repair work. So the first period, more or less, has come to a close, give or take 40 seconds worth. But Colin, before we enter into the intermission report, a 4-0 Pittsburgh Penguins lead. They get the game's opening tally 15 seconds in, grab another at 5:30. 11:33, another at 10:59, and then at 11:25, the 4-goal outburst would come to a close. Bluger, O'Connor, McGinn, and Heinen. A pretty good start for Pittsburgh, but for the Chicago Blackhawks, who has been trying to preach better starts, more consistency, a lot to talk about in the intermission.
Yeah, I mean, I think they might be lucky that the end of that period, 40 seconds early, it seems to be this cliche, or the topic of conversation is the start, and albeit it was a tough goal, Fleury was kind of sliding, kind of playing the pass. I think Bluger, he didn't get much on the play, really. I'm not even sure if he was even trying to shoot it, and it just kind of slid 5-hole on Fleury. Tough start for him and tough start for the team. At the end of the day, though, you have to be ready, and you have to put the pressure on and have the juices flowing and have the legs going and have the energy, and we've talked about that for 3 games, and they just keep getting behind the 8 ball here.
So the Penguins jump in early, a 4-0 lead after 1 period of action. We got Joe Brand standing by in Blackhawks Central, and that's how we will wrap up. And again, 40 seconds that was left in the first period will be added on to the second as some glass repairs taking place back behind the net to our right. So Joe Brand is standing by for the intermission report. Hawks trailing 4-0. You're listening to Chicago Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
We're in the middle of one of the hottest tech job markets ever seen. That's why Dice, the premier career marketplace for technology professionals, is here to help you discover the job you've always wanted and launch a career you've always imagined. Dice, where tech connects. Visit us at dice.com.
Mama, what does the chicken say? Dog. Cat. Giraffe.
Giraffe, really? Giraffe.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Did you know that more than 90% of poisonings happen at home? Look closely and you will find poison risks hidden in plain sight inside every house. But there are actions you can take to poison-proof your home, like keeping household cleaners locked up high and away from children, properly labeling and securing medicines and supplements, and installing carbon monoxide detectors near bedrooms and furnaces. Visit poisonhelp.hrsa.gov to learn more, or call your local poison center at 1-800-222-1222, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
A gentle breeze blows across your face as you take a refreshing sip of water, appreciating the stillness of another morning fishing on the lake. The distant gurgle of a stream reminds you of days spent playing in the creek, the cool, clear water rushing between your toes. You love this time with nature, the feeling of putting everything on hold to connect with the world around you. Now, imagine it's all gone. No fish, no lake, no water. One of life's most vital resources, irreplaceably depleted. Time is running out to protect fresh water, and without our love, it can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our fresh water. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
Mike Rowe here with a gentle reminder that civilization is held together by pipes, wires, and cables. It's true. There are over 5 million miles of gas lines, power lines, fiber optic lines, water lines, and sewer lines, all buried beneath your feet. And every 60 seconds, somebody digs into one. Look, if you're thinking about digging around, do yourself a favor and call 811 first just to find out what's down there. Trust me, you don't want to find out the hard way. Call or click 811 before you dig and visit safeexcavator.com for more info.
Hey, son. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, loss of who you thought you was.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
It's time for an intermission update. Here's Joe Brand.
Well, only 40 less seconds, but I'm sure the Blackhawks are happy to get that first period behind them as soon as possible. A 4-0 lead for the Pittsburgh Penguins after just under 20 minutes over at the PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh. 13 shots on goal for the Penguins, just 3 for the Blackhawks. Marc-Andre Fleury already out of this game as his former team knocks him with 4 goals in the opening about 10 minutes, and the Penguins definitely have the heavy hand in the early going of this game. I'm Joe Brand. You're listening to Blackhawks Hockey here on 720 WGN. There's a whole heck of a lot of other hockey games going on right now as the Florida Panthers lead the New York Islanders 3-0. They're through 2 periods down in the Sunshine State. Marchand with a goal for the Boston Bruins, who lead the Dallas Stars 1-0 in the final 20 seconds of the first period over in Boston. The Toronto Maple Leafs have a 2-0 lead over the Ottawa Senators, and they're actually using the University of Toronto goalie Alex Bishop as their backup to Jack Campbell tonight against the Ottawa Senators. He's 24 years old. He was signed to an amateur tryout. He's not going to be paid. Goalie Peter Mrazek sustained a groin injury. He didn't return for the third period back on Thursday in the loss to Ottawa. The New York Rangers and Montreal Canadiens are scoreless in the first period up in Canada. The Red Wings have a 1-0 lead over the Vancouver Canucks. They're through 1 period over in the Motor City. Capitals and Lightning also scoreless after 20 minutes. The Blue Jackets and Seattle Kraken are scoreless after the first period as well. Also later tonight, the Carolina Hurricanes visit the Nashville Predators. St. Louis Blues are on the road against the Colorado Avalanche. The Winnipeg Jets take on the San Jose Sharks in their first game. The Edmonton Oilers hosting the Calgary Flames. Kings host the Wild. And earlier today, the Buffalo Sabres beat the Arizona Coyotes 2-1 in a shootout. Elsewhere around sports, how about 2 grand slams for the Boston Red Sox? J.D. Martinez and Rafael Devers each connecting on grand slams as the Red Sox are trying to even up that American League Championship Series at 1 game apiece. They're in pretty good positioning to do that right now, leading the Houston Astros 9-8. They're heading into the bottom of the 8th inning down at Minute Maid Park in Houston. Also later tonight, the NLCS begins. The Dodgers visiting the Braves. Corey Knebel against Max Fried and that pitching matchup. College football today, Northwestern beat Rutgers 21-7. You heard that game right here on 720 WGN. How about number 2, Iowa, getting upset to Purdue, losing to the Boilermakers, who are unranked 24-7. Some other games in college football. The Oregon Ducks beat California 24-17. Number 20, Florida, falls to LSU, also unranked 49-42. And the top-ranked Georgia beats Kentucky 30-13. We're going to take a break, bring back Colin Frazier in when we come back as the Blackhawks trail Pittsburgh 4-0 in the first period over in Pennsylvania. You're listening to Blackhawks Hockey on 720 WGN.
The Sinatra Hours and Sunday Standards, the perfect Sunday feeling.
Technologists, you're in demand. Almost every company needs your skills, and Dice is here to help you find the job that checks all your boxes. The one that inspires you, shares your values, and unlocks your potential. Dice, the premier career marketplace for tech professionals, empowers your passion for problem solving, creative expression, and lifelong learning by connecting you with employers who understand their potential. Visit us at dice.com to learn more.
I drive my bus in a busy city. That's why road safety is so important to me. I know that I must slow down and be extra careful when I make a wide turn. Buses need more room than cars. Everyone can help keep our roads safe. Next time you're driving, remember to give buses plenty of time and space to finish turning before driving ahead. Let's all plan to share the road safely. Learn how at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad. Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path, because when you talk, they hear you. Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Teachers shape the future. Right now, in a classroom somewhere in the United States, there's a teacher inspiring a future scientist who'll make preventing pandemics their life's work. Sharpening the mind of an aspiring environmentalist who'll help combat climate change. And generating possibilities for a student who'll be the first in their family to graduate college. Explore a career that leaves a legacy you can be proud of. Teach. Learn more and receive free support at teach.org.
Did you know animals can get cancer too? The Live Like Roo Foundation provides assistance and care for pets and shelter animals with cancer. Since 2016, the nonprofit has given out over $1.3 million in grants and has sent over 5,000 cancer care packages to families going through one of the toughest times in their life. You can help by volunteering, sharing, or donating. Just go to livelikeRoo.org and remember, tomorrow is never promised, so always live like Roo.
First intermission over in Pittsburgh as the Blackhawks trail the Penguins 4-0 in their third game of the season. Hawks still searching for that first win, and they're going to have an uphill battle in the next 40 minutes coming up. I'm Joe Brand. You're listening to Blackhawks Hockey here on 720 WGN. Let's head over to the PPG Paints Arena and bring in Colin Frazier. And Colin, you just kind of crumple up, throw in the wastebasket, and move on, huh?
That's all you can do at this point. I'm just thinking back to myself as a player. What would I do? And playing in 2010 with Ben Eager and Adam Burish, we had a good finger on the pulse, and we'd be getting angry. And right now you got to throw the X's and O's out the window. X's and O's don't mean much if you don't have the compete and the push and the hardness and just really the will to win. I want to see a little more anger, a little more compete, a little more battle, and I got to see more shots on net.
Well, a lot of physicality is something that Stan Bowman made a motion to get done this past offseason. So, yeah, hopefully you're right with that. So much was talked about Marc-Andre Fleury and his return to Pittsburgh. I don't know, did you sense any jitters for him? Because 2 quick goals and everything just kind of snowballed.
No jitters. I mean, it's just unfortunate. It's just, that first one, he definitely wants that first one back. The one behind the net's a little bit unlucky. The puck stops right before the trapezoid. He came out to play it, and it just lost its momentum, so he kind of had to wait. And while he's waiting, the forecheck was able to get in and get the loose puck. Heinen shoots one right from the slot, right between the hash marks. I mean, there's not much you can do on that one. He needs a little help too. I mean, you can't sit there and stop it all. I think if you're playing in Pittsburgh's end a little bit more, you don't have to worry about shots on net. The shots are 13-3. So you win or lose as a team. It's a cliche, I know it, but it is true. You can't blame Marc-Andre.
Well, we hope for a more physical second period for the Hawks, but Colin, don't let your fourth line grinder get the best of you. We need you to be level-headed here for the next 40 minutes, okay? Don't get angry up there.
No, a little bit of passion never hurt anybody, so I'd like to see it on the ice.
All right, thanks so much, Colin. We'll check back with you in the second intermission. Again, Hawks trail Pittsburgh 4-0 after a little bit less than 20 minutes. We're going to take one more break and wrap up that first period for you when we come back. You're listening to Blackhawks Hockey on 720 WGN.
The Blackhawks, Wildcats, and the NFL play here on AM 720. On smart speakers, say play WGN Chicago. WGN.
I'm Paula Basta, Director of the Illinois Department on Aging. If you suspect an older person or a person with a disability between the age of 18 and 59 is being abused, neglected, or exploited, call our Adult Protective Services program at 1-866-800-1409. All calls are confidential. Again, the number to report is 1-866-800-1409. Sponsored by the Illinois Department on Aging and this station.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for children and teens. Hospital and doctor visits, prescriptions, shots, and more are covered. That's peace of mind for parents if a child is sick or gets injured. And parents may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if they've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit InsureKidsNow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
There's Pablo in his natural habitat, opening his internet bill in fear. No! He just saw his 12-month promotional price ended. Uh-oh, and he just discovered the equipment fees. Back away slowly.
If your internet bill drives you wild, just remember, you're not a bad person. You just need a straightforward price. Get AT&T Fiber. Unlimited internet with no price increase at 12 months. Visit att.com/no hidden fees. Limited availability in select areas.
WGN Radio conducts a variety of contests throughout the year. Contests are void where prohibited by law. Prizes are non-transferable and cannot be exchanged for cash. Winners are responsible for all taxes associated with prizes. WGN Radio may publicize or broadcast winner names or voices. Winners are ineligible to win within 2 years of receiving prizes over $600 and within 60 days for prizes valued less than $600. Employees and their families of WGN Radio, Nexstar Media Group, and participating sponsors are disqualified. Go to WGNradio.com/contests for complete disclaimers.
Period 2. The second period is next. Here for a recap is Joe Brand.
A rare malfunction with some of the glass over at the PPG Paints Arena towards the end of that first period, so the second period will actually be about 20 minutes and 40 seconds, as they're just going to make it up in the following period. But again, the Blackhawks trying to put that first period behind them, a 4-0 lead for the Pittsburgh Penguins, out shooting the Hawks 13-3. Goals by Teddy Bluger, Drew O'Connor, Brock McGinn, and Danton Heinen, all against Marc-Andre Fleury before he was pulled against his former team. He did get a big round of applause from the home crowd there at PPG Paints Arena. He's been very vocal about how much he loves those fans, that fan base, that town. They all obviously are big fans of Marc-Andre Fleury, but Marc-Andre Fleury not very big fan of his own performance in the early going, as he coughed up 4 goals in the first less than 12 minutes of that first period. Really took it to the goalie stick when he got pulled. Kevin Lankinen now in net for the Hawks, as they will try to turn things around, again being outshot by the Penguins 13-3. Hey fans, don't forget, after tonight's game, it'll be the Bitcoin of America Chicago Blackhawks post-game show. We'll have player and coach interviews and game analysis. Now let's send it back over to Pittsburgh, where Joey and Colin are standing by for the next period. Guys, take it away.
Thank you very much, Joe. As you mentioned, 40 seconds will be tossed up on the game clock, and they're going to pick up where the game would have gone had those 40 seconds been able to be played. So this is going to be a face-off, essentially, to start the period to the left hand of them under Kevin Lankinen. They have repaired the glass, the partition work, which is back behind his net as it stands right now. So now the goaltenders, the players themselves, after being in a locker room for a little while, Colin, they're trying to maybe get re-energized. They've been sitting for a little bit now. All of a sudden, they got to take a defensive zone face-off for the Blackhawks and try and kick back into gear, play 40 seconds, stop again, reset, and then get ready for the second period. I think you just treat it like any other start to the period. You got your rest, you went in the locker room, you reset, you recharge, you talk about the things you want to do, and you do less talk, more action, and get it done.
Well, the Penguins won the face-off, but they knocked it all the way out to center ice, getting past everybody, but now a turnover, and they'll come waltzing right back in the offensive zone. Lead pass bounces away from Jake Gensel. 19 seconds left in the frame. Gensel to the left wing point for Dumoulin. Back to Gensel. Wrist shot from the top of the far circle. That deflects off his shin pads and carries up the near side. 10 seconds to go. Jonathan Taves, left wing. They'll just punch it down to the near corner. Phil Kurashev hot to trot after it. Dumoulin got there first. They'll just ring it around further around the boards, and the horn will sound to officially end period number 1. They'll take a brief little break out on the ice now, and Colin, a chance for you and I to catch up a little bit as Kevin Lankinen down to our right. They'll report to the bench briefly and then head on down to our left and get ready for period number 2. So what are you looking for? Joe was talking about, what do you do in the locker room? Do you kick, scream, holler? How do you adjust, or is it something more cerebral? You still have 2 periods to play, down 4-0.
Well, I mentioned it in the intermission. I think X's and O's just go out the window. You can have all the X's and O's and all the system play, all the stuff you want. It doesn't work if you don't execute. So you have to execute, and for me, it starts with working and competing. It's just getting back to basics, getting pucks in deep, getting pucks on net, battling, working, and getting a little bit angry. And I don't mean fighting, and I don't mean slashing, and I don't mean punching. I just mean within yourself to kind of pull that inner strength and that inner anger out and put it onto the ice and put it into something positive.
So both goaltenders swapping ends to get ready for period number 2. Penguins leading 4-0. So Kevin Lankinen down to our left-hand side. Hawks in those white sweaters will be going from left to right. Only a 1 power play to report so far. That belonged to Pittsburgh in period number 1. A successful PK once again for Chicago, who are still looking for their feeling good sit-go power play, their first one of the evening. So puck is down, and here we go for the second period now as the Penguins up 4-0 will move into the offensive zone. Long wrist shot from the blue line. Crossing in was Bluger, and that goes in and out of the catching glove of Lankinen. Hawks will just take it and clear it away. No icing. A slow roller all the way down to the near corner of Jari, and Chicago making a line change back behind the scenes. Another feedback out to center ice. It'll be Brock McGinn. That'll punch it into the zone left wing. McGinn, he'll just float it towards Lankinen, and he will hang tight. He had a man floating in front, in fact, in Zach Ashton-Reese, maybe for a redirect, but for Kevin Lankinen, he will sit tight. The Childs are back. Join us for a special night of festivities as we return to United Center in full voice for the first time in nearly 19 months to kick off the 2021-22 season. Fans, we miss you, and we hope to see you at UC this Tuesday against the New York Islanders. They'll be in town. Get your tickets at blackhawks.com/tickets to grab your favorite seats. Sing in unison with Jim Cornelius and bang the drum with Tommy Hawk. You, your friends and family, your coworkers will have a wonderful time. Again, that's this Tuesday against the New York Islanders at United Center. Hawks wrapping up their season-opening 3-game road trip tonight. Pittsburgh right to left, moving back into the offensive zone after a quick clear from Chicago, and then a little chip shot towards Lankinen. Changed directions, shot from the right wing point off the blade of what looked to be Dan Heinen, but ends up popping up in front of Lankinen off that redirection, so he'll gobble it up with a reaching, catching glove and sit tight with 18:57 to go in the second period. A 4-0 Penguins lead.
Kapanen had a lot of speed there wide. He's a skilled player, a very, very strong skating player. He drove it wide. He did a quick little pull-up and found Heinen coming in late for a quick shot. Not a grade A chance by any means, but a really nice play by him.
So face-off will be to Lankinen's left-hand side. Need to adjust the equipment, but he'll settle in as face-off will be between two Grizzly vets right here. Fun to see. And, or pardon me, I thought that was Taves rather, but that's Jujhar Khaira against Brian Boyle. But Khaira's going to win it away for the Hawks, and they'll go on the march out to center ice. He's got Connor Murphy jumping in with him. Murphy to the right side for Gaudette. They'll go behind the net of Tristan Jarry. Gustafsson pinching down, trying to keep it in that far corner. But Gustafsson chased out. And up the right side, the Penguins will look for the break. Now a cross-ice pass intended for Drew O'Connor. And a little out of reach, goes behind the net of Kevin Lankinen. Wraps back up the left wing. Gaudette with it to the red line. He'll guide it into the offensive zone. Line changes coming for both clubs. Big hit down in the far corner. That one being led by Jujhar Khaira staying out there. Khaira got a turnover briefly, and he turned off a shot from the left circle. Hit the outside of the net. Actually clipped the part of the pipe. You might have heard it ringing in your headset as it's moved the other direction. O'Connor, long shot from way downtown into the catching glove of Lankinen, and he's actually got plenty of time. He's going to play it. Kevin Lankinen's going to move it away, and almost gets turned over. Now it does. Puck is stolen outright as it's knocked underneath Brandon Hagel, and the Penguins move to behind the net. It's going to be Danton Heinen looking for some space. Heinen to Jake Gensel right side. Gensel, he gets bodied up. Puck kicked out to center ice. Kubalik got enough of a skate on it, and it'll slide through the neutral zone and back into Pittsburgh territory. Brian Dumoulin surveying the land. He'll go up right side, angled off the wall, too far for Carter to take control. And it'll come to Stillman, who will plop it back out to center. Glove down in front of the Pittsburgh bench. They'll just dump it right in. They need to make a line change. Hawks finishing up theirs. And walking out to center ice is going to be Gustafsson. Up the middle for Kirby Dach. Dach to the left side for Alex DeBrincat. Try to back into it across for Kane. Pass intercepted by Jeff Carter. Carter into the offensive zone, right up the middle. Now swings to the right-hand side. Looking for a little assistance, but run out of real estate. Now Chicago. They got a defenseman falling down. Chance for a break, but no. It bounces away. There's a lead pass as Patrick Kane and Alex DeBrincat trying to get something together. And Pittsburgh able to escape some danger there. Close one there. And Kane will just result in a dump in. Marino will take it away for the Pittsburgh defense. Kirby Dach on Marino on the near corner. Takes it, gets it out to the blue one on a turnover to Seth Jones from Patrick Kane. Fires from downtown, right down the middle of the ice, deflected wide to the far post of Tristan Jarry. Jarry only seeing 3 shots in period number 1. They do credit him with 1 on that look as the Penguins get it to center, but Kirby Dach takes it away. Dach left side, goes across the ice for Patrick Kane. Kane drop pass. He's got Jones jumping in and a one-timer in and out of the catching glove of Jarry. And the rebound taken away and hustling out to center ice is going to be Zach Ashton-Reese. Reese almost lost it on top of the red line. Marcus Pettersson, though, to back him up. He'll guide it into the offensive zone. Steered away by Borgstrom. Henrik Borgstrom on the turnabout for this Blackhawks squad. Looking to get a fire underneath him. If you heard Colin Fraser a moment ago, throws it out to the blue line. Long shot from Tyler Johnson. It pops up. May have clipped off the shoulder of Tristan Jarry. And Johnson gets another look at it. Goes to the left-hand side for Philip Kurashev. Kurashev reverses course, rips him back over to the near side. Bottom of the dot for Johnson. It's out of reach and chipped up the wall. Taken nicely off the wing. And Marcus Pettersson will put it out to center ice. But now Chicago quick to bring it right back in. Here goes Philip Kurashev, left-hand side. Kurashev down to the corner. He's got Pettersson with him. Behind the net for Johnson. Johnson swinging around, and it looks like we got ourselves a delayed call here. We do. Off goes Kevin Lonkinen, and it's going to be a power play for the Blackhawks if the Penguins can touch up. But Lonkinen to the bench, and an extra attacker. It's on. It's Patrick Kane. Kane trying to go across the ice for a one-timer. Fanned on. Jam shot by Gustafsson. Fought down by the goal mask of Jarry. Rebound taken out and cleared by the Penguins, and that will be the touch they were looking for. And it's going to be an interference call against Pittsburgh. 15:09 to go in the second period. 4-0 Penguins, with the Chicago Blackhawks, who have had a fantastic fueling good sit-go power play, Colin, good with the chance to maybe get on the scoreboard here with a couple of quality looks.
Well, they definitely got their legs there. They're starting to go a little bit more possession, a little bit more ozone time. I still think they need to shoot more. It was looking nice. It was pretty. They're finessing it around. I want to see them bowl one to the net. The opportunity here on the power play is huge. Energy's good, legs are good. Now let's execute and put one in the net.
So the first fueling good sit-go power play for the Blackhawks so far this season through 2 games, 37.5%, going 3 for 8. They picked up a pair of power play goals last night against the New Jersey Devils. No win the faceoff. The left of Jarry set up a one-timer. They score! Patrick Kane from the right circle! And Chicago is on the board. That didn't take long. They needed only 9 seconds of the man advantage to strike.
Well, we talked about the power play, how important it is. There's one bright spot. It is the power play and the special teams all together. It all starts with the Jonathan Toews win. He wins it back to Kane. Kane kicks it over to the half wall. Up to Jones. Jones puts it down the right side, and Kane just one-times it. It came out just as fast as it went in the net. Beautiful shot, beautiful textbook play, nothing complicated to it. Win the face-off, tick it around, pound it in.
Wonderful shot from Patrick Kane. That's going to be his first of the season and a huge Blackhawks goal. It's time to break out the El Bandito Yankee Tequila. So smooth, it's criminal. And that nice tally by Patrick Kane, presented to you by ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check out Chevy's Shop, Click, and Drive. Shop online 24/7 at ChevyDriveChicago.com. So another power play tally for the Chicago Blackhawks squad. They now have 4 on the year, 4 for 9 as they improve their numbers and are 1 for 1 this evening. Fueling good sit-go power play certainly has the Blackhawks feeling good when on the man advantage. Now a chance to try and build off of it. Connor Murphy, right hand. He'll guide this one behind the net for Mackenzie Entwistle. Took out a body and actually took out more than that, but centers it up. Has some running room for Gaudette. Wrist shot into the chest pad of Jarry. Puck was loose. It actually dropped off the chest pad. He was trying to squeeze it with that blocker hand, that right hand, but then it fell to his feet. And that opened the door for a couple of extra whacks, but you can start to see the energy coming back to the Blackhawks thanks to that power play tally and the shift following immediately after.
Well, that's a great shift by this fourth line. That's exactly what they need to do. They're big, they have size, and it all starts with Entwistle behind the net. He does what I like to call a counter hit. He almost has possession, or is at least in front of the Penguins D-man. He leans back on him and pops him onto his butt to open up the passing lane to Gaudette. Gaudette, really good patience. He pulled it, he shot it, but a good save by Jarry.
Still plenty of hockey in this period in the game. 14-18 left in the second. It's 4-1. Blackhawks capitalizing. Now 9 shots on target as they win the faceoff. Here's Seth Jones. Settling at the right point, throws it towards the front of the net, deflected wide to the near post of Jarry. Kubalik is after it. Goes back to Jones' right point, turns and fires. That hit off a couple of personnel in front. And Kubalik will get a touch onto Jonathan Toews, left wing side. Toews, they'll go behind the net. Now swing up near post. Jonathan Toews to the middle. Looks to the blue line. He's got DeHaan. Turns and fires. That one through healthy traffic. There was 4 bodies in there. And actually getting bumped into is Jarry and loses his goal stick. Blackhawks trying to keep up the pressure as Jarry has nothing to balance with. Behind the net, battling is Dumoulin for the Penguins' defense. Dumoulin trying to hang on now as they got 2 members of the Hawks crashing in. Kubalik came up with it momentarily. But Dumoulin with some help from Letang will chip up the left side and go back out to center. But the stick of Tristan Jarry has gotten even further away. It's now almost to the outside of the right wing circle. And Jarry not getting any help from his defense either. He's going to play without a stick. Pittsburgh looking to flip it back out the center. They do, but that stick a little too far to go wandering.
That stick is in the corner because Jarry actually tripped Hagel in front of the net. I feel like he let go of his stick because he didn't want to get the penalty call against him.
Well, the Hawks are going to try and keep the pressure up as DeBrincat, his group out there. Patrick Kane as well. The most recent lamplighter. Kane on the feeling good Sitco power play in the neutral zone with DeBrincat back to Kane. Wrist shot, trying to get it low to the ice. Goaltender with no stick. Why not try and shoot it low? Maybe in between the leg pads if you can muster it. Stillman with it now left wing point. Rings it around the boards. He'll find Kane off the near corner. Patrick Kane trying to center it up. Had DeBrincat breaking in. Pass is intercepted. And a quick chip by Teddy Bluger, but Bluger could not get it back out to center. More pressure coming from Chicago. And Tristan Jarry almost getting more comfortable without his stick than with it.
Not a lot of whistles in this game, Joe. There's no time to leave the net. It just keeps going.
Only 11 total faceoffs in period number 1 before the stoppage in play. So, yeah, we'll just keep on rolling right along. 12-14 to go in the second. 4-1 Pittsburgh as the Penguins left wing side. They fire, they bank it off the outside of the net, outside of Lankinen. Just a shot wide. And the boards made out of rubber just fired that one right back in front of Lankinen. Now he comes up without a goal stick.
It just ricocheted off the end boards with a lot of kick, and it almost banked off his pad and in.
Dominic Simone trying to move to the middle of the ice. Now Pittsburgh trying to get shots low on the goaltender. Hawks able to counter, though, and steal it away. Here goes Tyler Johnson, right wing. Johnson, Hawks making a change behind him. Holds up along the near boards, right side. The stick of Lankinen is behind his net. Penguins turn it over and turn it around. They go up the middle for Dominic Simone. It'll roll in on Lankinen, who will go out and hang on. And that'll allow everybody to reset. Both goaltenders get their equipment back. 11:34 remaining in the second. It's 4-1 Penguins. Timeout on the ice. We'll step away. Blackhawks playing with some momentum now. They get a power play goal. The Feeling Good Sitco power play thanks to Patrick Kane. 4-1 Penguins. You're listening to Chicago Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
You hear that? That's Core Stethoscope technology by Echo, removing background noise so you can focus on the sounds that matter. Learn more about Echo at echohealth.com.
For 40 years, Michael Myers has haunted this town. He is the essence of evil, and evil dies tonight.
We're gonna hunt him down and we're gonna put an end to this.
I want to take his mask off and see the life leave his eyes. Happy Halloween, Michael.
Halloween Kills, rated R, under 17, not admitted without parent, in theaters and streaming only on Peacock now.
The United States Deputy Sheriff's Association is a national nonprofit and the largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. The USDSA assists city, county, state, and federal agencies with free safety equipment donations and officer survival training, along with cash donations to families of law enforcement officers who perish in the line of duty, college scholarships for the children of law enforcement, a citizen awareness program, and more. For more information on the USDSA and how you can help, visit usdeputy.org.
I found hope in the midst of an overwhelming situation.
Alcoholism is a disease that can affect any family. Everyone suffers, but there is help and hope at Al-Anon Family Groups.
Al-Anon gave me my life back. I'm a better father and husband.
Are you in an overwhelming situation because of someone else's drinking? Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Local and virtual meetings are available. Maybe one could work for you. Call 1-866-200-0033 or visit alanon.org/hope.
Steve Bertrand brings you Chicago's afternoon news every weekday 4 till 7. Now back to the game.
Welcome back, Hawks fans. 11:34 left in the second period. The Four Stars collection is now available at cbhshop.com. Inspired by the iconic colors of our city and featuring styles perfect for hockey season, this collection honors the Chicago Blackhawks' home since its establishment in 1926. Visit cbhshop.com to shop now.
Joseph Zakshevsky, Colin Fraser, the three-time Stanley Cup champ. Happy to have you along for this one. The Blackhawks trail the Pittsburgh Penguins right now 4-1, but they do get a goal, the most recent tally, thanks to the Fueling Good Sitco power play from Patrick Kane, hoping to build off of it. Penguins with an offensive zone face-off, left-hand side of goaltender Kevin Lonkinen coming in for netminder Marc-Andre Fleury making his return to Pittsburgh. A nice homecoming. Wonderful signs placed back behind his net during pregame warm-ups, but his former team, the Penguins, would ding him for 4 tallies and 9 minutes and 25 seconds worth of play, or pardon me, 11:25 rather. And that would spell the end of his night. Lonkinen has taken it since. Ujar Kara, his group out there, alongside with Mackenzie Entwistle. That fourth line, if you had to put a number to it, Grinders trying to get some work done in the offensive zone as Kara to the middle of the ice for Gaudette. It just bounced away from him, but a nice read by Seth Jones. He'll jump in. He's got his target left-hand side. It's Kara. Kara trying to sneak in. Short side on Jari, who will pin it up just off that right post and hang on tight.
Jones had a great gap there. He was up near the top of the circles. He's able to create the turnover. He made a nice little poke on the Penguins player, poked it over to Kara. Kara had the good chance. It was a bad angle to the right of Jari. He was kind of low, almost on the goal line. Not a lot of room to put it in, but a good opportunity. And that fourth line's been good here this second period. I think they're doing their job. Hopefully they can get one, but they've certainly been playing with a lot of energy and using their size.
Again, putting in the work. That's how they were able to create with Gaudette and Kara, and Seth Jones jumping in for that opportunity in front of Jari as the draw be to his right. Kirby Dock will take this one, takes a tumble down in the face-off circle. Teddy Bluger. Puck will trickle up the right side and right in front of the Chicago bench. Jeremy Colleton and company looking on as the Hawks will retreat back into their own zone. Looking around is going to be Kane. Kane right side for Stillman on a tip. DeBrincat in the area as well. That puck will fly off a stick and deflect up and out of play. On the other side of the coaching battle, Mike Sullivan, who has been with the Penguins pretty much since the start of their success. Multi-Stanley Cup winner with this organization. Stanley Cup with Chicago as well back in 2015. A member of the player development staff. And Coach Sullivan, and he's one more win away from passing Dan Bilesma for the most all-time in the regular season in terms of wins in Pittsburgh Penguins coaching history. 427 games, 428 including tonight. 252, 131, and 44 his record. So looking to make a little Penguins history on opening night at PPG Paints Arena. Penguins win the draw out on the restart at center and guided in behind Kevin Lonkinen. Ends up in the far corner. Aaron Gustafson to pick it up. Left side knocked down by Brock McGinn. McGinn having some trouble. Gustafson going right after him. McGinn trying to spin away. Can he get it to the blue line? Yes. Working it to the middle of the ice. That's going to be John Marino. Marino throwing a wrist shot towards Lonkinen. We got some good skirmishes happening just off the far post of Lonkinen. Might have gotten tied up as the puck over top of the cage. Ends up in the near corner. Bluger and Gustafson jabbing away at each other. Eric Gustafson trying to get involved a little bit as the Hawks right side looking to pinch it up in front of Tristan Jarry. They'll look to walk off the near post, but Jarry will just poke it away and steer it, and here we go.
DeBrincat came in there and gave Jarry a little bit of a poke trying to get to that loose puck, and Penguins players took, I guess, not too kindly to that, and he got a little skirmish going in the far corner.
Yeah, a couple of wrestling matches. I see Teddy Bluger in a good battle with Alex DeBrincat. He's got him in a headlock. DeBrincat has him tangled up against the boards. Bluger with no helmet. Kirby Dock in the middle of the pile as well. All 5 skaters involved. And now it looks like Bluger might try and get a jab in or two, but I think he is pretty well wrapped up by Alex DeBrincat. No real punches thrown, just a nice wrestling match. And again, we saw some nice skirmishes down in the battle with Kevin Lonkinen off to our left-hand side. So Hawks playing with some bite, and good to see. 9:41 to go in the second period. We'll take a timeout. Hawks trailing 4-1. You're listening to Chicago Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
Surratt. Give us 4 hours in the morning, and we'll ask, don't you work?
Kids' lives have been put on hold. Getting them thriving again safely starts with protecting them from COVID-19 and dangerous new variants. Get the latest facts by speaking to your pediatrician or healthcare provider, or by visiting getvaccineanswers.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the American Academy of Pediatrics.
What is dedication?
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that my kids wouldn't have a father. And I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. I definitely had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
For 40 years, Michael Myers has haunted this town. He is the essence of evil, and evil dies tonight.
We're gonna hunt him down and we're gonna put an end to this.
I want to take his mask off and see the life leave his eyes. Happy Halloween, Michael.
Halloween Kills, rated R. Under 17, not admitted without parent. In theaters and streaming only on Peacock now.
Well, after the rough stop and every party was separated, the Chicago Blackhawks are going on the penalty kill. Little pushing and shoving resulted in a roughing call going against Kirby and Doc, so the Pittsburgh Penguins will hop on the power play for the second time this evening. Joseph Zakshevsky with you alongside Colin Frazier. As the Blackhawks able to get a quick clear and send it on down behind the net of Tristan Jarry. Puck turned over in the neutral zone, and the Hawks get it right back. Flipping it back in is going to be Brandon Hagel.
Hagel had a good gap there. It's kind of an errant pass by the Penguins, but he pounced on the loose puck to get it back down the ice.
Penguins 0 for 1 this evening. Blackhawks are 1 for 1. And in fact, that goal by Patrick Kane on the man advantage in the early moments of the second period, the first power play goal that the Pittsburgh Penguins have given up. They were 7 for 7 on the PK entering tonight. Well, Letang and company trying to set up shot down the right wing, but Brandon Hagel trying to close that gap, as Colin was just mentioning, not allowing him a lot of room to make a pass, but now gets one over to Rodriguez left wing side, and a one-timer blisters wide to that far post to Kevin Lonkin. A nice shot, too, by Evan Rodriguez. Down to the goal line. Little give and go. Jake Gensel trying to get it to the middle of the ice for Jeff Carter. Carter, he gets tied up, and now we're going to get a penalty. It's going to be a tripping call. Battling in the middle of the ice, who was all tangled up with Carter.
The fans didn't like that one. It was a bit of a delayed call. It took a second or two for the ref to catch up to that one on McCabe.
Yeah, Jake McCabe was the one in charge of Jeff Carter on top of the crease. As we take a look at the replay, and yeah, Carter just kind of brought the legs of, actually not McCabe rather, but that was Mackenzie Entwistle that he took out, and it was McCabe that threw his hands up in the air wondering where the call was, and that's when the arms would start to go up. So
it was delayed. I can understand the boos to the ref, as he did take a second to do it, but good opportunity for the Hawks here. They're going to have a minute 10 on the power play. It's 4-on-4, 51 seconds. Look for Kane, Taves, Jones, that first unit to come over the boards in 51 seconds.
So that'll wipe out the rest of that Pittsburgh power play. They'll drop to 0 for 2, 8.5 to go, second period. A 4-1 Penguins lead as the draw will come back in their zone to the right side of Tristan Jarry. So a little bit more open ice on this 4-on-4 skates as the Penguins trying to break it back through center into the offensive zone. Puck stolen away. Philip Kurashev out there with Dominic Kubalik right now. You got Gustafson on the back end with Stillman as the Penguins turn it around on a lob into the near corner. Looking to close in the gap. 25 seconds left on the roughing call to Kirby Doc. Then he will come out, and we will have the second Feeling Good Citgo power play for the Blackhawks. And again, 1 for 1 thanks to Patrick Kane earlier this period.
This is a big opportunity for the Hawks here. 10 seconds, down 4-1. If they can get one on this power play, right back in the game with lots of time left.
Down the left wing, looking for one more push is Brock McGinn, but Kirby Doc now out he comes, and the power play is activated for Chicago as Gustafson brings the breakout to center left side. He'll dump it in, and now trying to set up was Patrick Kane, but a lead pass looking for Jones along the right wing, just too much to handle, and Chicago will have to regroup for a moment. At center ice will be Jones. Jones at his own blue line pulls it back far enough. Now he's got Kane. Kane left-hand side. Into the attacking end for Jonathan Taves. Taves down to the far corner. Looking to return to the middle of the ice. That's where Kane was. In comes out to DeBrincat. Pass is broken up off of shin pads. And stolen out by John Marino. Had to fight off two members of the Hawks, but he does get it to center. 30 seconds left on this man advantage for the Blackhawks. They'll sit tight out of the far corner of their own zone. Now bring it out is going to be Alex DeBrincat. DeBrincat across ice feed for Jonathan Taves. Little stutter step at the blue line, almost threw Jones off. He'll just turn and dump it in, but it's nothing but black and yellow, black and gold. Penguins uniforms in the defensive zone, and that'll be an easy clear the other way. So Jeff Carter will come out of the box from his tripping call in 3 seconds' time. Another dump in for Chicago. But the Penguins are on it. Kirby Dach, the lone pressure man, as they knew Carter was coming out, so they want to make sure somebody was back to cover for him. And we return to 5-on-5, so Chicago will drop to 1 for 2 tonight. Penguins left wing. Chip it to the bottom of the left-hand circle. It's going to be Jake Gensel swinging at it. Puck was rolling on him. Calvin DeHondo makes a nice exit up the right side. Pass behind Brandon Hagel. Kirby Dach couldn't get there either. And the Penguins trying to move it, but a nice stick by Hagel, knocking a long-distance pass out of the air. Almost baseball bat-like style, and that turns it around, and the Blackhawks will just go up the middle and dump it on goal from center ice. Tristan Jarry on a one-hop will hang on to it, and we'll get a stoppage with 6:02 to go in the second period.
A little bit of a missed opportunity. The Penguins did a great job of giving no time and space to that Blackhawks power play. The Hawks tried to force a couple passes across the ice. Cross ice when the middle's plugged up is tough to do, and they're just unable to get set up in zone.
So the draw the right-hand side of Jarry. 6:02 left, second period. 4-1 Pittsburgh. Face-off pushed into the corner right off the draw. Gaudette for the Hawks. Battling, nice shoulder-to-shoulder work with Mark Friedman. Friedman and Gaudette continuing to swing away. Gaudette trying to pull off the wall. Now it's got some running room. Looking to drop it off. Almost a behind-the-back pass for Kurashev. Doesn't quite pan out. And hustling the other way is Kasperi Kapanen. Forces it down into the Hawks zone. Around back and Lankinen. And now out to the blue line. And looking for a little chip pass towards the front of that. Jason Zucker had it off the side of that far goal post. Looking for a chip shot over Kevin. But the Blackhawks goaltender able to hang tight and get a catching glove on it.
It's a good opportunity there. Lankinen holding the fort there pretty good. Again, the Hawks need to get some sustained pressure. They had a good start to the period, but still only 12 shots on net. 5:05 remaining in this period.
Stillman regrouping in his own zone. Chicago finishing up a line change here. Stillman and Gustafson now paying catch as they make their way out to center ice. Right-hand side for Jujhar Khaira. Into the attacking end for Patrick Kane. Kane will back in it behind the net for Mackenzie Entwistle. Entwistle trying to go to the blue line. He had Khaira, Jelkovac, Stillman pitching in, and we're going to have a delayed penalty here. And this penalty is going to go against Pittsburgh, I think. The wrist shot in on Kevin Lankinen. Looked pretty casual, making the save, knowing the whistle was coming. And we're going to get more separation required between the linesmen as Gustafson has drawn an audience with Mark Friedman. And yeah, this will be an infraction.
I think it's on Khaira. It's on Khaira. He there's a little chip and go play there, and he got a stick in on the hands. The ref's taking a while to sort it out, but it's on Khaira off the rush there at the blue line. We might have both sides.
Yeah, Khaira is arguing his case. He's standing outside the penalty box, but it's Brian Boyle. That is
double minor penalty. Number 11, high stick. 16, Chicago, minor penalty, hooking.
Well, there you have it. Both sides picking up some infractions with 4:42 to go in the second period. Timeout on the ice as Khaira will head to the box for Chicago, but Boyle will join him on the other side for Pittsburgh. It's a 4-1 score. Penguins in front of the Blackhawks. You're listening to Chicago Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is reconnecting neighborhoods by growing community gardens and farms through the Love Tito's Block to Block program. By teaming up with Love Tito's, Growing Places Indy is able to replace and rebuild raised garden beds at its main farm site. To lend a hand and become a volunteer, visit growingplacesindy.org/volunteer. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume.
You might know MD Wise is a provider of health insurance, and we are, but we feel called to do way more than that. Like arranging free rides for those who don't have another way to get to the doctor, the dentist, or the drugstore. We also know healthy food is important, so we arrange free rides to the grocery and farmer's market too. These are just a few of our extra services, because caring for Hoosiers beyond insurance could be the wisest thing we do. mdwise.org/more.
The independent agents that represent Indiana Farmers Insurance know if you want to earn a farmer's business, you first have to earn their trust. Farmers have enough to worry about, so it's great to know that we have their backs, that we know what's important to their business, their family, and their life. They know we're in this together, and that's how work gets done. Visit IndianaFarmersInsurance.com to find the agent that's near you and right for you. That's IndianaFarmersInsurance.com.
Bob Surratt with the answers in the morning on smart devices everywhere and on 720.
Now back to the game.
4:42 remaining in the second period, so penalties handed out to both the Penguins and the Blackhawks. But a double minor given to Brian Boyle on the Penguins side, which is going to result in a feeling good Sitco power play for Chicago. So a chance to build here late in the second period. Boyle's going to need someone to come join him in the penalty box to serve his time. Kara on the other end again, so they'll have to wait for a stoppage before they can return. Faceoff will be to the right hand of Pittsburgh goaltender Tristan Jarry. Blackhawks had a second power play only a moment ago, but only had less than a minute to try and operate and set up. So a chance to fully get going here on their opening man advantage. They struck just 9 seconds on the power play. That's their lone goal so far, thanks to Patrick Kane. Penguins, though, able to push it off the draw and get it out to center. It's a slow slider all the way to Kevin Lankinen, who will direct traffic and send it behind his own net. On to out to Brinkett. To Brinkett to center ice for Kane. Kane left side for Jonathan Toews. Toews to the front of the net. Pad save right to the rebound. And DeBrincat had it in his skates, just couldn't pull the trigger. Toews shot it to the opposite pad. He got the rebound he wanted. Going right to DeBrincat, waiting on the inside of the near circle, but it was locked up in the laces.
It's a good opportunity there. Bounced right to him. It got kind of tied up in the feet and just couldn't put it home.
Tyler Johnson, right point. Setting it over across. Left point for Seth Jones. Got his man. He's moving it on to Jonathan Toews. Back to Jones. Toews to right wing Kane. Kane, a wrist shot off the paddle, the goal stick of Tristan Jarry, and that ramps high enough to go up and out of play. And give us a stoppage. Still a minute and 7 seconds left on Chicago's third. Feeling good. Sitco power play.
Kane was setting up for that one-timer, much like the first goal they scored. Jones was up top with the puck. He slid it over to Kane. Kane elected to not one-time it, held on to it. He tried to do the shot kind of Toews just did off the back pad, trying to create some rebounds in front, and it was deflected out of play.
Toews will take this face-off to the left of Jarry, and he'll win it right back to the top of the dot. Kane's going to rush in and take control, spin away from Carter, and hand it off to Jones to the right point. Jones return pass to Kane, nearly intercepted as Carter, a nice whack on Kane, but here's Jones, goes across, little jam shot into the pads of Jarry. Puck is bouncing around. Tyler Johnson trying to get a piece of it. Comes loose to Kane. Kane to the middle of the ice, between the dots, backhanded a little further to the blue line. He's got Jones left side to Brinkett and Toews battling there, but the Penguins able to angle it around backside of the boards. It goes high enough to get away from Kane and down the length of the ice.
Now, I never played on the power play, but I played on the kill, and you got to move it quick.
Patrick Kane up ahead for Kubalik, a redirection, and Jarry keeps it in front of him. A nice smack of his stick. Kubalik got just enough of it. Kane sent that shot low to the ice, and Kubalik trying to pop it up over top.
As I was talking about moving it quick, Jones sent it all the way up the ice to the far blue. Kane chipped it in. They got the opportunity. It was a kind of a 2-on-1, almost a breakaway, really, that went right in on Jarry. Skilled players can make skilled plays, and they can make them quick, and those are the looks that they got.
So Kirby Doc's going to step in. Second power play unit out there. 27 seconds remaining on the Feeling Good Sitco man advantage. Pittsburgh will win the face-off, however, and ring it around the boards and all the way down to Lankinen. Gustafsson to take control. He'll pick it up with some speed from his netminder. Eric Gustafsson through center ice. Gustafsson trying to split the defense. It pops away. Goes between the dots. There it's taken. Borgstrom goes to the Kubalik right circle. One-timer off the mask of Tristan Jarry. Gustafsson let it in there, and the pop-up went right to Borgstrom, and he set it up on a tee for Kubalik. A nice drive. Power play comes to a close, though. Blackhawks drop to 1 for 3. Get a couple of chances in on the Pittsburgh netminder. Remains a 4-1 score in favor of the home club in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 2:26 left in the middle stanza. Delayed call once again. This is going to go against Chicago, so penalties starting to pile up a little bit here as the Penguins are going to yank Jarry for the extra attacker. Hanging on right side, Danton Heining going behind the net for Jason Zucker. Zucker left circle. On to Marcus Pettersson. Pettersson to the middle of the ice. Wrist shot deflected by Lankinen. Rebound, they score!
There's a bit of a shot tip there on the back door. It was a really smart play. Kind of chucked it back at the net. It might have went off the Blackhawks defenseman. Yeah, it went off Murphy in front. He kind of chucked it at the net. Murph was defending the front of the net well, and it just hit his foot and went in.
That was Jason Zucker that just put it out in front as Lankinen was trying to reach back to his right. And yeah, Murphy, it was that left foot, that instep almost as he turned. And that just banked it on through, and it's a 5-1 Pittsburgh lead with 2:05 to go in the second period. Just a tough bounce there as Murphy trying to cover some ground. Zucker on the backhand just trying to keep it in front, put it in the danger zone, and it paid off as it hits off the steel.
There's not much Murphy can do on there. It happened so quick. He was about 3 feet away from Zucker as he spun around and just threw it right at the net, and it went off his foot and in.
And Murphy, you can see the reaction, his body language right after that one. The second it banked off his skate. Shoulders dropped, and he knew that would sneak across the goal line. So a tough break there, but the Penguins do add to their lead. 1:41 to go, second period. Stretch pass up the right side. A long distance one at that, but just couldn't find Kubalik, and ends up back into Pittsburgh hands in the neutral zone. Left wing is Letang. He'll just wait patiently, now bring it on in. A snapshot blocked down by Connor Murphy. Up the body and behind the net. Taken by deep partner McCabe, and up the left wing, he's got his man in Philip Kurashev. Kurashev trying to chip one in on Tristan Jarry, who's one-on-one with Letang. Kurashev wanting to dance around him, but Letang just playing the body, not allowing him any room to move, so all he could do was float one on in there. Penguins with the rebound and break out to center. They'll fire it into the near corner of Lankinen with 1 minute to go in the second period. 5-1 score, Pittsburgh out in front. Lankinen slowing down another dump as Stillman comes into play. Tried to send it up the left wing. Puck turned over, though. Taken off the bounce. Teddy Bluger trying to force it towards Lankinen, but that'll end up going up into the protective netting and out of play.
Stillman tried to make the breakout pass there. There's a little bit of an errant pass off the wall. It bounced right out, back in front to Bluger. Deflected. Stillman recovered well. He got out to the high slot with the long stick and was able to have a good recovery and deflect that one up and out of play.
Zucker with his first of the season from Kapanen and Friedman at 17:55. After a 4-goal first period, just the two here in the second. Blackhawks getting one on the Feeling Good Sitco power play. Patrick Kane at the 5-minute mark to give some energy back to the visiting squad. But Zucker on just that bounce off the skate of Connor Murphy gets his first of the year. Both of them, their opening markers of a new season. 48.4 left on the game clock for the second period. Drawn to the left of Kevin Lankinen. Kirby Dach in a good board battle with John Marino. Marino gets twisted down, but Dach knocks it out from underneath him and out to center ice. Feeds it to Patrick Kane. Right side for DeBrincat. DeBrincat fires this one from a good distance out. Maybe a stride, maybe two across the blue line pretty far. But goes over top of the net of Jarry and carries up the far side. Blackhawks have it again. Back at center ice. It's Patrick Kane. Now right wing circle. Looking for one more look. He's got DeBrincat on the outside of the near dot as well. Close quarters. Trying to go back to Kane. Puck stolen and popped right back out to center ice off the stick of Danton Heinen. Heinen right wing side, trying to advance it a little further. Long reach, Calvin DeHaan breaks it up, goes across the ice, and gloved down. Jake Gensel putting it to his stick, but right there waiting for him was Seth Jones as the horn sounds off to wrap up 2 periods of action at PPG Paints Arena. Blackhawks get on the board thanks to a power play marker from Patrick Kane, but the Penguins add to their lead on a bank shot from Jason Zucker. It's 5-1 through 40 minutes.
They had a really good push there the first half, first 3 quarters of the second period. They came out with a little bit more anger, a little bit more bite. They got that one on the power play. They were starting to roll. They had some good looks, and then the Penguins just got that lucky one late again. Murph was defending well, was in the right position, doing all the right things. Zucker just kind of spun around and just kind of chucked it at the net, and Murph couldn't get out of the way if he wanted to, and it hit his foot and went in the net. 5-1, Joe, you go back to the drawing board again in the break here, and I think you just have to have the old cliche of no quit and just throw everything, throw the kitchen sink at the net and go for the best.
And certainly you want to set the tone ahead of your own home opener coming up on Tuesday. You want to have some positivity rolling out of the locker room for period number 3. Well, we got Joe Brand standing by in Blackhawk Central. He'll walk you through the first 40 minutes of this one from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Patrick Kane with the lone Blackhawk goal as the Hawks trail the Penguins 5-1. You're listening to Chicago Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
Life is short but full of flavor. Our award-winning whiskey will add flavor to your life. Choose from 15 mouth-watering flavors such as blackberry, peach, peanut butter, and many more. Explore all the flavors of life with Bird Dog Whiskey. Please drink responsibly. 2021 Bird Dog Whiskey, Bowling Green, Kentucky, 40% alcohol by volume.
I was probably a little bit like you. There was a lot of talk about the COVID-19 vaccines. I didn't know what to believe. And I tell you, everyone has an opinion. Some of my friends got vaccinated and some were against it. But I knew this was an important decision, so I went to somebody I already trusted, my doctor. It's your call, so talk to your doctor or healthcare provider and make the decision that's right for you. You can go to getvaccineanswers.org for the latest information. That's getvaccineanswers.org, brought to you by the Ad Council.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Maybe you're not sure how you'll make rent, or you lost your job. When you don't know where to turn, let 211 be your guiding light. Our guides are ready to connect you with the help you need.
211, how can I help you?
Call or visit 211.org. 211. Get connected. Get help. A message from United Way and the Ad Council.
After I got out of the Marine Corps, coming back home, it was just a mental breakdown for me. I was on the verge of giving up. That chapter, that season in my life was over. Now what? Who was I? That's what I kept asking myself. The pressure to have it all together, to heal, to quiet down the monsters inside, it was too much. I lost it. I had heard about the Wounded Warrior Project. I had seen the logo and that visual of a warrior carrying another warrior. The programs that the Wounded Warrior Project offers, it's not just the veteran themselves, it's their whole family. It brings it all together. We have scars that we carry, and just because the scars are there doesn't mean that we're any less than what we were. Right now, I'm the best version that I ever have been of myself. I can embrace the brokenness.
You wouldn't go into battle alone. You don't have to fight this alone. Visit woundedwarriorproject.org/notalone.
This place has a pulse. You hear it in the canopy, feel it in the ground. Life, fully illuminated, engulfs you. From the birds singing in the treetops above to the tiniest insects in the soil below. You take a deep, cleansing breath, filling your lungs with the essence of the forest. Now, imagine it's all gone. Healthy, life-giving forests reduced to nothing. No singing birds, no lush canopy, and water and food in short supply around the world. Time is running out to protect our forests, and without our love, they can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our forests. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
It's time for an intermission update. Here's Joe Brand.
The Blackhawks do get on the board thanks to a power play goal from Patrick Kane, but unfortunately Pittsburgh able to pick up a goal of their own in the second period. It's a 5-1 lead for the Penguins after 2 periods over at the PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh. Blackhawks did outshoot the Penguins in that second period. 15 shots on goal compared to Pittsburgh's 8, but Pittsburgh still leading overall in this one, 21-18, as the Hawks need to really rally in the final 20 minutes. Otherwise, they're going to go their first 3 games without a victory before heading home to begin the homestand on Tuesday. There is a lot of games going on in the NHL. One of them final now, or another one final, I should say. The Florida Panthers get a hat trick from Sam Bennett, and they beat the New York Islanders 5-1 tonight down in the Sunshine State. Bruins and Stars are tied up at 1. They're heading into the final seconds of the second period over in Boston. Toronto and Ottawa are tied at 2. 5 seconds left in that second period. The Canadiens trail the Rangers 1-0. Capo Caco won't play the rest of the game in Montreal. He suffered an upper body injury, and the Rangers again leading 1-0 with 7:44 left in the second period. Red Wings lead the Canucks 2-1. They're through 2 periods over at the Motor City. The Lightning trail the Capitals 1-0. Alex Ovechkin with his 3rd goal of the season as he tries to continue to climb the ranks of career goals in his hockey history. Seattle Kraken now with a 1-0 lead over the Columbus Blue Jackets. They're through 2 periods over in Columbus. Hurricanes a 1-0 lead over the Nashville Predators. 30 seconds left in the first period there. Later tonight, the St. Louis Blues will visit the Colorado Avalanche. Sharks host the Jets. The Oilers welcome in the Calgary Flames. And the LA Kings will welcome in the Minnesota Wild. Also earlier today, the Buffalo Sabres beat the Arizona Coyotes 2-1 in a shootout. Major League Baseball in the postseason, the American League Championship Series all tied up at 1 game apiece. Boston winning that game 9-5 despite a little bit of a valiant effort from Houston, launching a couple of home runs in the 9th inning, but Boston wins 9-5. They had 2 grand slams in that game. Meanwhile, Atlanta just tied things up against Los Angeles. It's a 1-1 score in the bottom of the second. Actually, LA just tied the game, but it is tied 1-1 in the bottom of the second as the National League Championship Series begins between the Braves and the Dodgers. College football today. Again, Northwestern beat Rutgers earlier today, 21-7. You heard it right here on 720 WGN. Number 2, Iowa gets downed by Purdue as they get upset by the unranked Boilermakers. Other games going on right now. Wisconsin leads Army 7-0. Boston College and North Carolina State tied at 7. Iowa State leads Kansas State 17-7. We're going to take another break. We'll have Colin Frazier helping us break down that second period. When we come back, it's a 5-1 lead for the Pittsburgh Penguins as the Hawks are still trying to pick up their first win of the season. You're listening to Blackhawks Hockey here on 720 WGN.
Flandecker. Let's face it, there's nothing more attractive than a smart guy with a beard.
Evenings at 7.
Did you know that 40% of patients have switched healthcare providers because of a poor digital experience? It's true. For today's healthcare organizations, it's all about delivering seamless, secure patient experiences that drive confidence and loyalty across every app and device. Say so long to passwords. One thumbprint or facial scan is all it takes with Ping Identity. See why identity is the key to effortless experiences that keep patients coming back. Visit pingidentity.com to learn more.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Blackhawks trailing Pittsburgh 5-1 through 2 periods over at the PPG Paints Arena. Hey, fans, don't forget after this game, you can tune in to the Bitcoin of America Chicago Blackhawks post-game show. We'll have player and coach interviews and game analysis. I'm Joe Brand here at 720 WGN. Let's head back over to the PPG Paints Arena, bring in Colin Frazier. And Colin, a better turnout, or rather a better performance in that second period. Unfortunately, it's still a 4-goal deficit, but you can definitely see some adjustments being made at least, even though the full goal wasn't accomplished.
Well, Joe, they had a good push early. They had a little bit more bite, a little bit more energy, especially 5-on-5. And for whatever reason, it seems to be the story this year that they're not ready to go at puck drop. And back as a player, it's easier to play from behind. And when I say that, it's easier in the sense you kind of got nothing to lose, so you just start playing harder and playing catch up. And what they need to do is start that from the start. They did a better job in the second period. They got an unfortunate, unlucky break on the 5th Penguins goal. The power play was good. Kane had a nice goal, and they did have another similar look to Kane on the right flank as well. So back to the drawing board. You just have to throw the kitchen sink. You can't quit, and you just got to push forward. There's no sense dwelling because it doesn't do any good at all.
That goal by Pittsburgh to make it a 5-1 lead. Let's see. Doing some quick math in my head right now. Kevin Lankinen allowing his first goal in his last 18 shots on goal. No, I'm going to scrap that all. He's allowed 2 goals in his last 20 shots on goal. Last night, he did a really good job of keeping the Blackhawks in it as they were able to tie things up. And then tonight, he's helped stop the bleeding. You mentioned kind of an unlucky situation that allowed Pittsburgh to go up 5-1, but there's got to be some credit for Kevin Lankinen right now.
Well, for sure. I mean, you can't fault the goalies. It's you win and lose as a team. I mean, it was just an unfortunate break. He came in relief. He's played well. He hasn't been peppered with shots, as the Hawks did have a little bit more pushback, but he has been good. He was good all season last season. We know we have 2 good goalies in the net, but you got to help them out. And by the easiest way to help them out is just by playing a little bit harder and playing in the O zone. More in their zone, less in your zone. It's simple, really. It just takes a lot of hard work and guts and digging in.
And something you were talking about in the beginning of that second period was, you said playing harder doesn't necessarily mean taking penalties and just taking every hit that you can get. Hawks are out hitting Pittsburgh 24-19, but did you feel like they did that, a controlled physical approach, I guess, for this team in the past 20 minutes?
It was certainly better, for sure. Entwistle got it going behind the net with a nice counter hit. Kara was bumping and grinding. I still like to see a consistent, more, I guess, less finesse. So with the possession in zone, we have the puck, but we're a lot on the outside. I think just to get that good feeling back and get those 5-on-5 chances going. We haven't had a lot of 5-on-5 chances. You just have to chuck it at the net. Maybe it's a bad angle play. Maybe it's from the goal line and there's a lucky bounce in front, much like Zucker got off Murphy's skate. You never know. When things aren't going your way, you really have to simplify and take that less is more approach.
Colin, thanks for the one-on-one. We'll talk to you after the game, okay?
Awesome. Thanks, Joe.
5-1 Pittsburgh leading the Blackhawks right now from the PPG Paints Arena through 2 periods. Again, the Hawks out shooting Pittsburgh in that second period, 15-8, but overall it's still in favor of the Penguins, 21-18. And once again, the Blackhawks capitalizing on special teams. They are now, I believe, 4 for 11 from the power play. Actually, 4 for 12 after being unable to find a goal with a double minor by Brian Boyle. But special teams still capitalizing for the Hawks as Patrick Kane picks up his first goal of the year, and the penalty kill is still perfect as well, 8 for 8 in these first 3 games. We're going to take one more break. When we come back, we'll wrap up that second period for you. You're listening to Blackhawks Hockey here on 720 WGN.
As a professional musician, Lachi stays true to her creative vision, even with continuing vision loss. But she's not alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Lachi, winning means using her voice to bring hope to others with vision loss. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
What grows in the forest? Trees? Sure. Know what else grows in the forest? Our imagination, our sense of wonder, and our family bonds grow too. Because when we disconnect from this and connect with this, we reconnect with each other. The forest is closer than you think. Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Help protect your family from flu this season by taking 3 easy steps. First, get yourself and your family a flu shot. It's quick and can protect you all season. Second, take everyday actions to help prevent the spread of germs like flu. Cover your cough, stay home from work or school if you're sick, and wash your hands often. Third, there are drugs that can treat flu illness. These work best when started early. Learn more at cdc.gov/fightflu.
Teachers shape the future. Right now, in a classroom somewhere in the United States, there's a teacher inspiring a future scientist who'll make preventing pandemics their life's work. Sharpening the mind of an aspiring environmentalist who'll help combat climate change. And generating possibilities for a student who will be the first in their family to graduate college. Explore a career that leaves a legacy you can be proud of. Teach. Learn more and receive free support at teach.org.
The Blackhawks, Wildcats, and the NFL play here on AM 720. On smart speakers, say play WGN Chicago.
WGN.
Period 3.
The third period is next. Here for a recap is Joe Brand.
Well, the Blackhawks were able to have quite the comeback last night. It's a bigger deficit, but they've got 20 minutes to work with over at the PPG Paints Arena as they trail Pittsburgh 5-1 heading into the third period. You're listening to Blackhawks hockey here on 720 WGN. Patrick Kane picked up his first goal as a Blackhawk this season, and it came on the power play.
No win the faceoff to left of Jarry and set up a one-timer. They score! Patrick Kane from the right circle! And Chicago is on the board. That didn't take long. They needed only 9 seconds of the man advantage to strike.
As Joey just said, a quick power play goal. Zach Anton Reese charged with the penalty. He was actually a game-time decision and helping out the Hawks get their first goal on the night. Assists coming from Seth Jones and Alex DeBrincat. It's the third straight game with a power play goal for the Hawks. They're now 4 for 11 on the power play to begin this year. So the Hawks were within 3, but then Pittsburgh started to gain some momentum once again, and then they put a lot of pressure towards the net.
Heinen going behind the net for Jason Zucker. Zucker left circle. On to Marcus Pettersson. Pettersson to the middle of the ice. Wrist shot deflected by Lonkin, and rebound, they score! That was Jason Zucker that just put it out in front as Lonkin was trying to reach back to his right. And yeah, Murphy, it was that left foot, that instep almost as he turned. And that just banked it on through, and it's a 5-1 Pittsburgh lead.
Yeah, kind of an unfortunate event for the Hawks. Don't want to take anything away from Pittsburgh, but they've got a 5-1 lead over the Blackhawks right now. As we're going to send it back over to Joey and Colin at the PPG Paints Arena. Guys, take it away.
Thank you very much, Joe. 5-1, as you mentioned. Third period, the best period for the Blackhawks so far this season. Goal differential of a +2. Also best for them in the shot category as well, a +5. And you mentioned all the chances that they would compile in that second period, out shooting Pittsburgh 15-8. Now a chance to start to build some of those chances and get more opportunities in the offensive zone. So Kevin Lonkin will occupy the net down to our right-hand side. Blackhawks going right to left here in period number 3. Trying to finish up this season opening 3-game road trip on a high note before heading home to celebrate opening night at United Center. The New York Islanders in town on Tuesday. Hope you can come out and join us. Check out the promo schedule at Blackhawks.com. Grab your tickets as you're tuning in right now, or at Blackhawks.com/tickets. You got the Islanders on Tuesday, and then you got the Vancouver Canucks coming in on Thursday for the Patrick Kane One Kane celebration as we drop the puck for the third. But right as we do so, it'll go up into the Pittsburgh bench, and that'll give us another quick stoppage of play. Penguins will control it just outside their own blue line and break it out along the right wing boards. John Marino. They'll force this one down to the near corner. Seth Jones will take control for Chicago. Right side for Jonathan Taves. Taves to the middle of the ice. Goes back onto Jones. He'll walk it a little bit further in front of the penalty boxes and hammer this one on to Dominic Kubalik. Cross ice dump to the far corner. Taves is on it, trying to swing it out in front for Jujhar Khaira, and you got Kubalik swinging in. So here a little bit of line jumbling from head coach Jeremy Colleton. You had a feeling that maybe some of this might be coming along the way even in the second period, but we'll see what chemistry can come from it as DeHaan, left point, fires, and that one just wide to the near post. And a good look past the sliding Jarry as DeHaan got a nice look on the top of the near dot. Pittsburgh trying to hang tight, looking to clear. Nice stick by DeHaan to pull it off the wall. He keeps it alive to Kubalik in the near corner. Behind the net for Jujhar Khaira, around backside for Kirby Dach now, fresh from the Blackhawk bench. Dach reverses course, puts it over to the near side. That'll be taken at the blue line by Gustafsson. Gustafsson forces it back down low to the near corner. Dach, he ran out of room. Patrick Kane just arriving on the scene, and he will have that one pop over top of him and back out to center ice. Joseph Zakshevsky and Colin Fraser happy to have you along for this one at PPG Paints Arena as the Penguins in front of their own bench. Their coach Mike Sullivan and company looking on as it gets knocked loose at the red line. Patrick Kane reaching back. He'll take a big old U-turn inside his own blue line and look ahead at what's in front of him. On to Connor Murphy. Murphy to the middle of the ice for, that's going to be Kirby Dach. And Doc left wing side for Gustafsson pinching in. I'd imagine you throw all these lines, Colin, into a blender and see what sticks. We saw that with Taves and Kara getting together. I'd imagine we're going to see a lot more of that in the third period and find some chemistry. And what works, we're probably going to see a lot of.
Well, that's it. You got to try new things. You're down 5-1. You got to try new options, mix it around. Kara going up with Taves. We got Hagel with Kane again. They like to play with each other. Just got to get something going here and get some life.
Brandon Hagel trying to force it away, but the Penguins playing cautious in their own zone. As Letang, extra look, now goes up the middle of the ice and hits a Jason Zucker that'll bust through the neutral zone. Lost at the Hawk blue line. Zucker with that goal late in the second period, 17:55 to reclaim a 4-goal advantage for Pittsburgh. It's Bluger, O'Connor, McGinn, and Zucker, the lamplighters for them. Patrick Kane on the Feeling Good Sitco power play in the 5-minute mark of the second to stand for Chicago. Evan Rodriguez, right-hand side. The offensive zone for Pittsburgh. Jammed it out in front of Kevin Lonkinen. He's sliding left to right, but it popped up in front of him. Nice breakup by the defense. And a quick toss out to center ice where Chad Rueda will take control for the Penguins once more. He'll dump it in, but nobody will just let that one roll around and eventually played up the right side. It's all Blackhawks rushing out to center. This is going to be Adam Gaudette firing on in there. Gaudette with Mackenzie Entwistle. Philip Kurashev is on this line now, as Entwistle and Kurashev come back out to center ice and retreat into their own zone. Calvin DeHaan will catch a dump in onto the left side. He's got Kurashev to center ice, lost at the red line. Puck goes across for Brian Boyle. Boyle left hand gets it in for Drew O'Connor. O'Connor fires, pad save by Lonkin. A big rebound right between the circles. The Blackhawks are on it. Mackenzie Entwistle will swing up the left-hand side, hit the red line, dump it in deep, and a line change coming. 16:25 to go in the third period. 5-1 Penguins. Blackhawks pressuring on the forward check. Staying out there was Entwistle trying to hang tight. Ends up coming up the near boards and out to center. Stillman, though, could not keep it going. So he'll just sit tight and pull back a little further onto Gustafsson. Gustafsson to the right hand for the captain and Jonathan Taves. Taves up the middle for Jujhar Khaira. Pass a little bit behind him. Penguins will jump. Letang pinching up. We'll dump it back in, and the line change finishing up for the home club. Jonathan Taves will take it from there. Taves up the middle to the blue line. Dumps it into the near corner. Khaira going to be the first one on it. Khaira getting tangled up with Teddy Bluger. Bluger trying to go up the near side. Stillman pinching in. Gets chipped over top of him. Nice keep. Kubalik coming back to cover. And he held it into the offensive zone with Stillman bringing it to the bottom of the left circle. Second effort, though, by the Penguins. They will get it out to center ice. A little bouncer by Zach Ashton-Reese, and that's enough to go all the way down to the Blackhawk blue line. Gustafsson jumping up with Jonathan Taves now. As Gustafsson left wing, he'll just steer it into the offensive zone. It's only him. Everyone else heads off to the bench. Fresh personnel out for Chicago. Still early stages. Third period. Kirby Dach getting it away from Jeff Carter out at center ice. The pair of 77s bumping shoulders. Dach, though, tearing it back into the far corner. Wraps behind the net of Jari. Puck turned over. It's Dach to the middle of the ice. Kirby Dach on a backhand. Had a chance to shoot it, but elected for a backhanded pass. Tried to put it to the bottom of the near circle, but nobody there. Had a great walkout, Colin, to the middle of the ice. Might have had his hands hooked up a little bit to prevent him from shooting cleanly, but still a golden look for Dach.
Now, Letang had the turnover there. Dach was all over him to force that turnover. It was close, but same thing. You just got to get those on net some way, somehow, fight through it.
Penguins left wing. They'll dump it down to the far corner. Kevin Lonkinen. McCabe back to grab it. They'll place it up the right-hand side, and Chicago trying to pick up the pace a little bit. They'll hustle through the neutral zone. Left wing pass. Kane finding Brandon Hagel. He'll crash into the near corner, and they're stolen out by Mark Freeman on the quick counter out for Pittsburgh. Up ahead for Jason Zucker. Zucker lost it, tipped in on Lonkin, and will come out to play it, but Zucker's going to bear down on the defense. Seth Jones trying to hang tight, but in comes Brian Boyle to help. Boyle out of the far corner. Stopping and starting, trying to shake off both Jones and DeHaan. Puts it over to the near corner. Blackhawks on the backhand. They do get it out to center ice. That was Jones able to wedge it up the wall. Bouncer gets away from Tyler Johnson, but right to Jones. Jones to Johnson, left wing, a step over the blue line. But he had two members of the Penguins right on top of him. Taking it away as Kasperi Kampanen, and he will regroup inside the Pittsburgh zone.
Woodwheel had a really good gap there, a really good stick. They just can't get it in behind him. He's got a good stick to break up the play right at his blue line.
And that seems to be where the wall is trying to be set up by Pittsburgh. Not really allowing a lot of clean zone entries for Chicago. They hit that blue line and try and chip it in, and that's kind of where it stops right now.
They're certainly making it difficult. You have to get it in behind them and get to work below the goal line, below the dots, and start getting pucks to the net.
Adam Gaudette on this next push for Chicago. Right to left they come. Gaudette left wing side. He'll dump it into the near corner. Everyone crashing in. Entwistle trying to finish his forward check, but it wraps around. And an odd man rush coming the other way for Pittsburgh. Left wing side and looking for the cross-ice pass with Bluger. Had a chance to shoot on the 2-on-1. Elected to pass instead. So you get the forwards pinching in, the defense coming in as well, and it opened up a ring around that allowed Pittsburgh to go on a 2-on-1 the other direction.
Simone made a heck of a play. It was a one-touch play on the rim. He just angled his stick blade off the blade right up to the Penguins forward on the rush, and he's had a good chance 2-on-1, just couldn't convert.
And Bluger had the game's opening tally, just 15 seconds into the hockey game. 12.5 to go in the third period. It's a 5-1 Pittsburgh lead. Blackhawks inside their own zone. Now the breakout. They got Taves left wing. He'll turn, fire it into the offensive zone. Taves, Kubalik, and Carroll once more. And it's Letang that'll wait for it. Carroll slides on by. Letang left side for Dumoulin, who will just float it on out to center ice, take a generous bounce, and end up in the near corner of the Blackhawks defensive end. Connor Murphy trying to get the one touch. Almost coughed it up, but able to escape danger, and Carroll will make his way back out to center ice, and a cross-ice pass finds Kubalik, who will march into the offensive zone. Drop pass for Taves. Taves trying to get a wrist shot away between the circles. That hits the shin pads. Will look to be Chad Ruhwedel, and they'll steer it behind the net. Tristan Jarry. Puck locked up on the outside of the cage. Even rang the outside of the cage for a moment on a follow-up by Taves. But the home club here at PPG Paints Arena just casually placing it up the left side, and the Hawks trying to turn it around from there. 11:35 to go in this third period. 5-1 to Pittsburgh. They'll chip it up the left side and look for a bounce. Kasperi Kapanen, son of Sammy, 12-year NHL vet. Couldn't take it any further than the attacking blue line, and the Blackhawks will pop it back out to center, but Kapanen right there on it, right wing boards. To Evan Rodriguez along the near side. Into the corner and behind the net, Kevin Lankinen. Rodriguez got dummied behind the net. Calvin DeHaan trying to get it away. DeHaan battling along the near side. Kapanen got it loose to Rodriguez. Rodriguez to the middle of the ice for Zucker. Couldn't get it on the backhand. It just rolled right between, off the heel of his stick and between the legs and back to the near corner. DeHaan onto Doc. Doc left wing, gets it out to center ice. And the Penguins just knocking it around. They'll force it back away, and Mark Friedman will take it this time. Friedman onto John Marino, the new defensive pairing for the Penguins. He'll waltz through the neutral zone and just dump it on down. Penguins playing some stingy defense, Colin. They're not allowing Chicago really to break through, whether it's the attacking zone or even the neutral zone at the moment.
The blue lines, you got to win the blue line battles, and they've done a great job at their own blue line, not letting the Hawks in. But at the Hawks blue line, they're doing a great job of gapping up and keeping pucks alive, and it's really just a blanket over the Hawks. They're suffocating them, and the Hawks just can't get anything going.
Alec DeBrincat trying to do just that along the left side, crashing and banging in front of the penalty box. Just could not kick it any further than the attacking blue line. Now the puck turned over. Penguins are on it. Left wing side is Simone trying to jam a shot from the bottom of the left circle. Never quite made its way to Lankinen. Out to the blue line, Letang. Letang right point, goes across for Dumoulin. Dumoulin on to Simone. Back to Letang, who's going to come over and take what would be Dumoulin's spot, and he'll circle around on top of the left wing dot. Chris Letang hanging on tight, just taking another extra look around to the middle of the ice. Has his target and Drew O'Connor. O'Connor wrist shot broken up. Plenty of traffic in front of Lankinen, but a stretch pass, and the Hawks might have some room up the right side if they hurry. DeBrincat, a drop feed. Looks like Gaudette on the right-hand side. Back to DeBrincat, a centering pass, and that one explodes off the back end. Nice effort by Gaudette to find him to Entwistle. Entwistle to the blue line for Seth Jones. Missed the target. Jones had an open shot and ripped it wide to the blocker hand of Jarry. Jones is going to try that one again. Great pass from Entwistle off the near circle. Jones looking for some help. Goes out to the blue line, and there he's got some time. Philip Kurashev will come in. Kurashev to Jones, who goes behind the net. The defenseman centers it up for Gaudette and just fanned on a one-timer. Great push there. A couple of quality looks. Gaudette in the middle of both of them. But the Penguins able to hang tight on a nice push by Chicago.
Entwistle had a real good look. Jones hit him with a real nice pass in the high slot. He got a good shot off, just couldn't convert. Jones must have had the puck half the shift there. He made a few nice plays and found a few guys open.
8:51 left in the third, a 5-1 Pittsburgh lead. Blackhawks just trying to scratch and claw. Bang their way into the offensive zone any way they can. A dump in. Lands it on to Chad Ruhwedel on the breakout for Pittsburgh. Ruhwedel right side. Gets it away from Jonathan Taves. He'll rim it around the boards at Kevin Lankinen. Carries up the right side, and Chicago's on. In fact, Taves goes over to help out, and he'll push it through the neutral zone. Jonathan Taves, left side. has his target. That's going to be McCabe pinching in. McCabe, though, lost control, tried to go back to the captain and didn't quite settle with him. Couldn't catch it cleanly, and the Penguins, they'll just knock it back out to center ice. Shots on goal overall favoring Pittsburgh 23-19. Here in this third period, Chicago just the 1 on Tristan Jarry, but Pittsburgh not much better. They have a 2. That's how stingy the defense has become.
There's not a lot of room out there. You got to give credit to Pittsburgh. They're not making any mistakes, and at the same time, they're playing it really tight on Chicago. They just don't have a lot of time and space to make those plays. They're clogging up the middle of the ice, and they're clogging up both blue lines.
7:49 now remaining in the third. Chicago sitting back with their own blue line. Patrick Kane, a backhander, goes nowhere, ends up getting knocked down, and Kasperi Kapanen turning it around. Kapanen up the middle, rips one over top of the net of Lankinen. Calvin DeHaan trying to come over fast. He was on top of the bench and had to hustle over and knock it away from Kapanen. Might have got a piece of it. Lankinen will have it come back into his crease. He will hang tight as he gets trapped up along that far post and will wait patiently. Just a little backhanded flip by Kane, and Kapanen was all over it.
Kane tried to dump it in or give a little soft chip play. It hit Gustafsson in the butt right at the red line.
We'll take a step aside from PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, PA. It's the Penguins leading the Blackhawks 5-1. You're listening to Chicago Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
For 40 years, Michael Myers has haunted this town. He is the essence of evil, and evil dies tonight.
We're gonna hunt him down and we're gonna put an end to this.
I want to take his mask off and see the life leave his eyes. Happy Halloween, Michael.
Halloween Kills, rated R, under 17, not admitted without parent, in theaters and streaming only on Peacock now.
More for your money. Andy Moore.
It's a touchdown of savings at Andy Moore Ford. And we're kicking off the season with 0% APR financing on all new 2021 Ford F-150s. We make it easy to find the perfect truck at Indiana's largest Ford dealer for 20 consecutive years. Find your Ford this football season online at andymoreford.com. Stock number T35411. 0 down payment. 72 monthly payments at $13.89 per 1,000 borrowed. $199 fee excluded. Must finance through Ford credit financing. See dealer for full details. Expires 10/4/2021. Based on total rental and car truck sales. Report on new Fords in Indiana for 2020 for Ford Motor Company.
Feel a little more fall while it's here with the toasty, sweet flavors in Starbucks maple pecan flavored ground coffee and K-Cup pods. Pair them with the sweetness of maple coffee cake to create a moment you'll love to savor at home. Available at Walmart.
The independent agents that represent Indiana Farmers Insurance know if you want to earn a farmer's business, you first have to earn their trust. Farmers have enough to worry about, so it's great to know that we have their backs. That we know what's important to their business, their family, and their life. They know we're in this together, and that's how work gets done. Visit IndianaFarmersInsurance.com to find the agent that's near you and right for you. That's IndianaFarmersInsurance.com.
The lady who's working hard to enrich your life, Anna Duplantis. Weekdays 1 to 4. Now back to the game.
Back in Pittsburgh, it's 5-1 Penguins, 7:32 left in the game. Patrick Kane joined the illustrious 1,000 NHL Game Club last March. But during a season without fans in attendance, he chose to postpone the celebration until he would be back at home with the best fans in the NHL. Be there October 21st and visit blackhawks.com/tickets to secure your seats now.
Hawks with the puck out of their own zone, breaking it to the right of their goaltender and Kevin Lankinen, who stepped in early in this one. Marc-Andre Fleury got the start, but would only make it 11 minutes and 25 seconds. Gave up 4 tallies on 10 shots, and it's been Lankinen's net ever since then. Seth Jones at his own blue line, part of a nice sequence for the Blackhawks a couple of shifts ago. Jones with the puck on a string on his stick, just firing away, placing pucks, not full-speed shots, but nice little lobs in on the goal crease of Tristan Jarry, who has seen at 19 of Blackhawks shots tonight. As far as Pittsburgh overall, 24 shots on target for Kevin Lankinen, and he's done well. Just 1 goal against on 14 bids his way. Breakout pass, Jake McCabe for Chicago with 6.5 to play, third period. He'll just send it ahead. It gets chipped in towards Jarry. He'll play it away from Johnson. And up the right wing is John Marino. Steady Eddie defenseman in Marino on that blue line. Always reliable for head coach Mike Sullivan and company. Looking to guide this one back into the offensive zone. Wraps around behind the net of Kevin Lonkinen up to center ice. We'll watch Tyler Johnson skate ahead. Hands this one off to Jake McCabe, who will walk forward. And Colin, I'm starting to notice a lot more defensive activity for the Blackhawks. Trying to pinch in. You got the three forwards, but when you're trying to scratch and claw for any offense, any shots on goal, we've seen Jones, McCabe, Eric Gustafson, no strangers to taking the puck deep in the offensive zone, and we've caught a couple of them trying to make plays from behind the net.
Certainly jumped up, certainly trying to provide that fourth man on the rush. You got to go for goals. You got to play a little bit riskier. You have to be more involved. Jones has been more involved. He's gotten more shots through, like you said, saucing them in there, but shots nonetheless. Look for these D to get up, gapped up, and join in the rush more often.
5.5 now left in the third. Penguins on the forecheck trying to force a turnover. They almost got one, but it does come out to center ice. Dominic Simone waiting for his line mates to tag back up. Now drops it off to Drew O'Connor. He's got one of the 5 Penguins goals this evening as he will ring it around Kevin Lonkinen, and he'll carry up the far side in front of the Chicago bench. Line change for both clubs. Picked up by Chad Ruhwedel defensively for the Penguins, and he'll blast it from center ice in on Lonkinen, who will wait patiently and get the stoppage in play. Timeout on the ice. We'll take a break as well. Hawks trailing the Penguins 5-1 at PPG Paints Arena to wrap up this season opening 3-game road trip. You're listening to Chicago Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
Surratt. Every morning I prove it's possible to talk in your sleep for 4 hours.
Picking the right holiday gift can be hard, but it doesn't have to be. We went ahead and asked clients and employees. They want Omaha Steaks. Don't worry about planning, because every step of the way a dedicated concierge will assist you, making the process of ordering simple and easy. Visit omahasteaks.com/pod and you'll get free shipping, volume discounts, and customizable options to fit your needs. Each box is a gift that keeps on giving, from delicious butcher-cut filet mignons, juicy burgers, to decadent caramel apple tartlets. There's something for everyone. Send them a memorable gift at omahasteaks.com/pod today. Every item is flash frozen and safely delivered to their doorstep. From the time it arrives to the moment they experience it, Omaha Steaks shows you care and is the gift everyone really wants. Visit omahasteaks.com/pod and give people a reason to celebrate. Send Omaha Steaks. It's just good business.
For 40 years, Michael Myers has haunted this town. He is the essence of evil, and evil dies tonight.
We're gonna hunt him down and we're gonna put an end to this.
I want to take his mask off and see the life leave his eyes. Happy Halloween, Michael.
Halloween Kills. Rated R. Under 17, not admitted without parent. In theaters and streaming only on Peacock now.
5:08 left, third period of action. PPG Paints Arena, downtown Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. First time the Blackhawks have been in this building in quite a while. You got to go back to November 9th of 2019. And that was the season that would abruptly come to a close, in which they were not able, the Blackhawks and the Penguins, to complete their 2-game season series. But don't worry, the Blackhawks will be coming to the Penguins will be coming to United Center to take on the Blackhawks not too far from now, November 9th at United Center. So circle the calendar if you want to see possibly Sidney Crosby back in the lineup. Not in the lineup tonight. Evgeny Malkin missing the first 2 months of the year, so probably not him, but you might see number 87 floating around as well to battle 88, 19, and more for your Blackhawks. Check them all out, and all the upcoming games at Blackhawks.com. Face off to the right-hand side of Kevin Lonkinen is Seth Jones on the tie-up with Jonathan Taves. Puck squished up along the wall. A few people hacking and whacking. In comes Jake McCabe. Now in comes Jones again. Jones trying to jam it loose. It gets knocked free. Now Jones takes a shot from behind. He falls down to a knee. Takes a lot to knock down the big-bodied Seth Jones. All 6'4", 209 of him, but still able to make a play. And he didn't go all the way down to the ice. Able to keep it in front of him and move it out to center ice with a little bit of help. Joseph Zakshevsky with you alongside 3-time Stanley Cup champion and a Chicago Blackhawk alum, which he helped win a Stanley Cup title not all too long ago. And Colin Fraser, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. As the Blackhawks right side, they'll steer this one in behind the net of Tristan Jarry. Reaching for it was Carter. It went too far, and Kane turns it over onto Kirby Dach. Dach fires and scores! Off a turnover, the Blackhawks are all over it. Led by Patrick Kane. They find Kirby Dach just off the left wing circle. I think Brandon Hagel got a touch on that as well on a quick tic-tac-toe play. It's now 5-2. The Blackhawks get one late with 4:03 remaining in the third.
It was Danton Heinen on the bench side boards about the hash marks in his wing position. He tried to play it to the middle. It went right to Kane in the slot. Kane bumped it over to Hagel on the right face-off dot, and Hags made a great play to Kirby Dach, kind of on the back door, and Dach made no mistake. It was really a tough turnover, but a nice play by the Hawks.
Great goal for the Chicago Blackhawks, and it's time to break out the El Bandito Yankee Tequila. So smooth, it's criminal, and Patrick Kane's second point of the game. Picked up a power play tally in the second, gets the secondary assist, turning around that tally, and of course, with that helper, it's presented by ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check out Chevy Drive or Chevy Shop, click and drive. Shop online 24/7 at ChevyDrivesChicago.com. Thanks to that Patrick Kane assist. Well, the Blackhawks looking for more as they push it back into the zone. It's Kirby Dach again, middle of the ice, now hovering around the blue line. Got pushed back a little bit by Letang, and that's enough to squeeze it back to the neutral zone. Time starting to run out, though. Hawks down by 3, and there's 3:15 left in this third and final period.
You never say never. You just got to keep going. They got one there. They need a quick one here. They're still down 3 with 3 minutes to play.
Right wing side, Evan Rodriguez moving through the neutral zone. He'll steer it off to the right corner of Kevin Lankinen. Lankinen trying to watch his club. Swinging out to center ice. McCabe lunging for it with a stick and a shin pad, trying to leverage it out there, but it's all Pittsburgh keeping it in the zone as Rui to right side. Turns and fires from the point, and that one buzzes past the far post of Kevin Lankinen. And out to center ice on a generous bounce off the backboard. We've seen a few of that tonight. You just fire it right off the straight back wall, not off the curved parts. And more often than not, that's coming right back in front of the goaltenders. Chicago up the middle. Alex DeBrincat right down the middle of the ice. Turns and fires, and that goes wide to the left post of Jarry, and the Penguins are all over it. The Hawks were finishing up a line change, and they'll guide it back out to center ice. 26-20 the shots in favor of this Pittsburgh Penguins bunch. Looking at the update for this third frame. Right now they still have the Blackhawks credited with 2 tallies, but certainly, or 2 shots, but certainly an additional one thanks to that setup and goal for Kirby Dach. As for Pittsburgh, they currently have 4 on the board in this final frame. Offense hard to come by in the third. Pittsburgh just trying to lock down defensively with the Hawks. Scratching and clawing. We've been talking about that a few times in this final frame of what will it take to break through, and it took a turnover that set it all up for Kirby Dach.
I think they've had possession. They've been in the zone. It's not like they've been chasing pucks by any sense, but they've just been unable to break through those walls, and Pittsburgh's done a really, really good job of locking this game down. Outside that one tough turnover by Heinen, they haven't given up much.
Minute and 20 seconds remaining in this one. Pittsburgh trying to dump the puck into the attacking zone, but they lift it a little too high, and that'll go up and out of play off the near corner of Kevin Lankinen. Well, the countdown is on, Blackhawks fans, and we cannot wait to see you after tonight. It's going to be a showdown at the United Center for the first time in nearly 19 months. Let's all sing in one full voice together as the New York Islanders come to town, and it's home opener. It's opening night at the UC. Grab your tickets for that Tuesday night showdown just right around the corner, 3 days away at Blackhawks.com/tickets. It's going to be a lot of fun. Colin, I don't know about you, but when I hear Jim Cornelison sing the national anthem, just absolute chills, and I'm ready to run through walls. I'm incredibly motivated.
And the Hawks are going to be ready to run through walls, too. Heading back home, first time in a long time.
Now under a minute to go in this third period. 5-2 Pittsburgh. Attacking zone. Kara out there with Kirby Dach and Dominic Kubalik. So still some line juggling coming from Jeremy Colleton. Pretty much all this third period long. But Pittsburgh just looking to seal this one up. They'll toss it back to center ice. And Connor Murphy and McCabe, they'll just play it back along the right wing boards and into the attacking end. Although briefly, quick little backhand through center ice, taken by Brian Boyle. He'll shovel it off to the near corner with 26 seconds to play. Wraps around the boards far side. Patrick Kane is on it. Kane to the middle of the ice for Kirby Dach. Dach, little give and go. He's got Hagel on the right side. Couldn't return the pass to Dach. And Pittsburgh will clear it. It's Boyle that'll send it down. It's going to go for an icing call with 13.3 left on the game clock.
Well, Dach and Hagel had a good little rush there, a little give-and-go play. Dach kicked it out wide to Hagel. He tried to give it back to Dach. This line, hopefully that's a sign of a little bit of chemistry for the home opener against the Islanders coming up soon.
And, of course, the New York Islanders, a tough cookie in their own right. They're starting to become a nice little championship-worthy organization. Lou Lamoriello running that one. And, of course, the Islanders having a couple of nice regular seasons and postseason pushes in recent history, so that'll be a fun little test for Jeremy Colleton and the Chicago Blackhawks. The Penguins win this face-off. They'll chip it out to center ice, and that's going to do it as the horn will sound off in the background. The Penguins will skate away with a 5-2 victory.
Yeah, I mean, it's the cliche of the start. You're behind the 8 ball. It's 4-0. You're chasing the game. They had a couple that a push in the second there, Joe. They had a little bit of a push in the third, but overall they didn't get a ton of sustained pressure. They didn't get a ton of good grade A looks. They didn't have a flurry of shots. I don't remember a moment where they could kind of have a wave of line after line. It was just, you got to give Pittsburgh credit. They locked it down. They didn't make mistakes. They kept coming. They had a great start, and they never looked back.
Pittsburgh able to take advantage. They scored 4 goals in the first 11 minutes and 25 seconds of this one all in the opening period as Bluger, O'Connor, McGinn, and Heinen would take it and run. It would spell an unfortunate early end to the night of the former Penguin and beloved goaltender in this town, Marc-Andre Fleury. He would depart after that 11:25 of action. Kevin Lankinen would step on in. Patrick Kane, a nice performance. He would pick up a power play tally in the second period, add an assist on the Kirby Dach marker in the third to be a part of both of the Blackhawks goals this evening. And with the win for the Pittsburgh Penguins, it's their second of the season, but for their head coach and Mike Sullivan, he is now the winningest coach in franchise history in terms of regular season contests. That was victory number 253 for him, passing Dan Bilesma. So congratulations certainly to Mr. Mike Sullivan, who has been with this organization for quite some time, in his 7th year this year, and has been a part of the back-to-back Stanley Cup titles for the Penguins in 2016 and 2017. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll recap this one and get you our Ditch Witch Midwest Player of the Game. Take a look ahead at what's to come in the Plumbers 911 game preview for the New York Islanders on Tuesday, and then we'll head on to Joe and the Bitcoin of America post-game show. Blackhawks fall to the Pittsburgh Penguins to close out their season-opening 3-game road trip by a score of 5-2. You're listening to Chicago Blackhawks hockey on 720 WGN.
Your hometown. There's a place about 30 miles northwest of the city that some refer to as a little slice of heaven. Tune in all day Thursday and explore Barrington with us, a place you could call home on WGN Radio.
Head to the heart of Illinois and visit the Peoria area. Experience life along the river and enter for a chance to win a Discover Peoria getaway, including a 2-night hotel stay, Spirit of Peoria cruise tickets, and more. Visit WGNradio.com/contests.
Con Amazon Prime, busca tu prescripción. Compara precios entre farmacias. Ahorra. Chócate esos 5. Encuentra el mejor precio para tus prescripciones con Amazon Prime. Prime lo cambia todo.
Imagine a fast food rib sandwich. No, stop! Not that one! Please, stop! Now instead, imagine a very real country-style rib sandwich. Smoked pork ribs, Gouda. Whoa! Pretty freaky that you're somehow imagining the exact same rib sandwich Arby's has right now for a limited time. Imagine that. Arby's, we have the meat.
At participating Arby's for a limited time.
Veterans, you stepped up for our freedom. You deserve the freedom to move about your home. If you served in a branch of the armed forces, enter for the chance to win a home stair lift with installation from Access Elevator. Visit WGNradio.com/contests.
Bob Surratt.
That old DJ is worth listening to.
Bob Surratt starts your day.
Back inside PPG Paints Arena, where the Chicago Blackhawks fall to the Pittsburgh Penguins by a final of 5-2. Blackhawks drop to 0-2-1. And those 3 games wrap up a season-opening 3-game road trip as they now head home and get ready to take on the New York Islanders on Tuesday. But Joseph Zakshevsky with you alongside Colin Fraser as we recap tonight's action. It's time for the Ditch Witch Midwest Player of the Game. Ditch Witch Midwest since 1970. Ditch Witch Midwest has been your partner for trenchers, cable, plows, and directional drills. Visit ditchwitchmidwest.com. Colin's got that player. Who are you picking tonight, Colin?
You know, it's maybe a tough decision as it was kind of behind the 8 ball the whole time, but I'm going to go with Seth Jones, and my reasoning for Seth Jones is a couple of reasons. I thought he was steady. I don't think he necessarily stood out and was an all-star tonight, as it's hard to pick an all-star in that game. But I thought he did a lot of good things. He assisted on the Kane power play goal. I thought he was gapped up well. And, he eats a lot of minutes. He's going to be an anchor. He was great last game. Look for him to settle things down there. He's got a lot of partners. And look for him to be a leader for the next game against the Islanders, because they're going to have to turn the ship around.
Well, for Seth Jones, he does pick up an assist tonight. Helped out on the Patrick Kane fueling good power play goal in the early stages of the second period. And you're absolutely right, Colin. I'm looking at the numbers right now as they have just gone final. Seth Jones, 22 minutes, 50 seconds of ice time. The next closest Blackhawk was Patrick Kane at 20 minutes and 2 seconds. Seth Jones took 26 shifts where everyone else was in the 20 range. There is a couple 23s and 21s floating around, but you're absolutely right. You talk about a guy with a steady presence on the ice, and Jeremy Colleton showing it, putting out Seth Jones, which seems to be more often than not almost every other shift by those numbers.
Well, and I thought he had a lot of puck touches. The puck seemed to be around him. He was getting shots through, or certainly attempting to get shots through. He is the anchor. He's going to be the anchor for a long time to come. We're going to see a lot of him. Now we just need to get all 20 bodies, all 20 guys pulling together and really straightening it out. I mean, we've talked about all the positive things that they've done, but they need to string it all together for an entire game.
And one final note on Seth Jones, too. You talk about him being able to play in every situation. His average shift length was 52 seconds, but he got 2 minutes and 50 seconds, nearly 3 minutes on the power play. Ample amount of time while short-handed. And then even strength is where he did a lot of his damage, too. So he's also a guy that plays in every situation that can help settle down. Whether the power play is going good, you saw him set up Patrick Kane. But if you need a guy to step in the way of shots, get quality clears off the boards, he can help that as well in the PK.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's your minute muncher. He's going to have multiple partners. He doesn't have one set partner. He's been playing a lot with Calvin DeHaan, but I also saw him out there with Stillman as well. He's a guy that can kind of move around and be paired with anybody, and he's going to be looked upon to lead this team all season long and for the next number of years.
So Seth Jones is your Ditch Witch Midwest Player of the Game. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll take a look at what's ahead for your Chicago Blackhawks opening night, 3 nights away at United Center. The New York Islanders in town. We'll preview them when we return. You're listening to Chicago Blackhawks Hockey on 720 WGN.
I'm Adrienne Bankert, host of News Nation's brand new show, Morning in America. It's a morning show that's offering a fresh perspective on the day's stories. Wake up to something good.
Morning in America, weekdays starting at 6 a.m. on News Nation.
Hello, Chicago. Ashley Banfield here. Tune into Banfield weeknights on News Nation, and let's talk. Find us on Comcast, Channel 223, DirecTV 307, and AT&T UVerse 1180. That's Banfield weeknights at 9 on News Nation.
Did you know that more than 90% of poisonings happen at home? Look closely and you will find poison risks hidden in plain sight inside every house. But there are actions you can take to poison-proof your home, like keeping household cleaners locked up high and away from children, properly labeling and securing medicines and supplements, and installing carbon monoxide detectors near bedrooms and furnaces. Visit poisonhelp.hrsa.gov to learn more, or call your local poison center at 1-800-222-1222, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is reconnecting neighborhoods by growing community gardens and farms through the Love Tito's Block to Block program. By teaming up with Love Tito's, Growing Places Indy is able to replace and rebuild raised garden beds at its main farm site. To lend a hand and become a volunteer, visit growingplacesindy.org/volunteer. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume.
It's the Hamp and OB Show.
Get rid of this clown.
Before and after every Bears game. Now, back to the game.
One more time inside PBG Paints Arena. The Chicago Blackhawks wrapping up their season-opening 3-game road trip. They would fall in this one of the Pittsburgh Penguins 5-2. The unfortunate trend for the Hawks right now at the start of the season, and it's still early. It's only 3 games, but the Blackhawks need to get ready for the opening. A puck drop for the second straight game. The New Jersey Devils did it last night. The Penguins did it tonight. They would score within the first 30 seconds of the contest. Not within the first minute, but the first 30 seconds. Devils did it in 17 seconds last night. The Penguins do it in 15 seconds tonight, all of a part of a 4-goal outburst in the first 11:25, and that's what's carried Pittsburgh on to victory. But the power play continuing to remain hot for Chicago. They would finish up this contest 1 for 3. They have a 3-game power play goal-scoring streak going into the home opener on Tuesday. That's certainly a nice boost with 4 power play goals in their first 4 games. And their penalty kill on the other side, they were a perfect 2 for 2 tonight. Joseph Zakshevsky once again with you, alongside by the 3-time Stanley Cup champion Colin Frazier. And the special teams seem to be phenomenal for this Chicago Blackhawks squad. It's the 5-on-5 play that they're looking to adjust before taking on a tough New York Islanders squad.
Absolutely. I mean, special teams are obviously a very, very important part of the game, but 5-on-5 is important too. You know, you're going to have to improve in all areas, but we got to look at positives, and you got to look at the things they've done well, and that first unit on the power play has been very good. They've kept it simple on the play today. It's a face